Do is talk about white men, dude.
I'm just kind of thinking, bro.
So what?
Like, can we trust that's even his real thing that he likes? Because like everything else is a facade. Is that even real?
Feynman, dude. Who else, dude? Maxwell.
Yeah, I like
That's
Feynman
all you
even
ever
though he's
talk
a Jew.
about, dude. All you
So
do is talk about white men, dude.
I like
Yet you hate
science.
them.
What the
Do they
fuck?
do math? Do they have
Hey,
to
bro,
do math to
you
be involved with
understand
science?
there'd be none. If
Yo,
algebra didn't come
yo,
from the
guys,
Ottomans and the
my
Persians,
son
there'd be
McToon
none of
is
this
here.
shit. I was like, it's okay, bro. I like
My
science.
son McToon is here. Let's go back to roasting the globe. Enough infighting. We need to focus our
Oh
forces.
no! Let the infighting commence.
Well, I was just
No,
wondering,
it's like
without
high school,
math,
man.
where would
It's
NASA be?
just a bunch of religious fighting. It has nothing to do with science.
Bunch of heathens
Yeah,
fighting.
let's do the science.
Well, I don't know.
thing.
You can call yourself a heathen. I don't know. Identify.
You're the one that brought religion into it, man.
The woke. No. I brought your intellectual hypocrisy into it. The woke Mason truther Muslim LARPer. Just think about that combo of like things that this guy is.
What does woke mean exactly?
It's the
All
opposite
the
of
rhetoric you've been
unwoke.
spilling. Yeah, all the rhetoric you've been spilling earlier.
Oh, I'm up. Yeah, I'm not sleeping. Yeah, but what do you mean woke?
No. Like all the like anti like white man stuff or whatever.
is,
That propaganda that you were spouting.
So who?
That was all like
who
woke.
own-
But then like
Oh, you mean just
that's
facts?
weird because the
History.
woke people
Gotcha.
are like feminists and shit. Not facts, actually. Nothing you said was fact. So there's that, which kind of like doesn't jibe with like your LARPing of being a Muslim. But I guess it all of it, the whole contradictory nature of the facade personality does jibe with the Masonic ideal. So maybe it's just we're just talking to a Mason with a bunch of facade personalities, facade beliefs, facade ideals that he doesn't actually think about intellectually rigorously because he's been shown to be hypocritical.
All right.
I hope it's not NASA talking. I don't know. Like, I don't listen to that.
No, that was me, dude. Why are you calling me NASA? Holy shit.
No.
You gotta
Like
take
whenever
that
there's long
line?
pauses,
Do I sound like
think it's
NASA?
NASA talking.
No,
No, I
because I
didn't
got
say you were
Bluetooth
not.
headphones on right now. Maybe I sound like NASA.
Wake your ass up. I never said you sound like NASA.
All right, cool. But yo, what's the topic, dude? Are we gonna keep picking on this Muslim Mason?
No, dude, we're gonna fight
flat
the globe, bro. Because
earther, etherite,
McToon's here.
larper.
Yeah. Okay. So, what was it? The influence of the stars on the ground line. What were we talking about earlier? Remember earlier?
I know, but I don't really feel like talking about that right now. That's
What the fuck? You're gonna let down McToon and not talk about globe debunking rhetoric?
we already talked
We
about
can
it today.
keep attacking the woke LARPing Muslim Mason. Let's go.
Ask McToon what he thinks about the current politics instead of talking about fucking flat Earth all the time.
Okay, McToon, what do you think about the Israeli carpet bombing of Christian towns and cities in southern Lebanon?
I can tell you without a doubt that if my man Vermin Supreme had been elected, none of this trash would have happened. He would have set everything straight.
Is that an appeal to a vermin fallacy?
Who's that?
My presidential candidate, Vermin Supreme, you got to look him up. That guy is on
Prime
fleek.
Minister.
He is on fleek.
That is
All right, McToon, you can
He's on
admit it.
fleek.
You can admit it, bro. You're a government agent / Masonic like asset or something like that. Like you can just admit it now.
Dude, if
Well,
I'm
related.
just telling you, if you're gonna call to NASA asking about your paycheck, and if Karen answers, hang up immediately. You got to
That's right.
talk to Betsy. Betsy will get your check
grandma,
figured
yeah.
out. But Karen, dang it, and don't even try calling from your own phone.
Wait, stop
She
knows.
Stop trying to
she
trigger, knows your phone number. You got to call from a payphone or something.
Who are you related to?
Stop triggering Cyrus's like Manchurian candidate fucking list of random strung together words.
Is meth a part of doing NASA math, globe math? You have to be able to do meth, or is it not a part of that?
Dude, Lion, what was that fucking thing that you were talking about earlier about the ether affecting the ground and the Foucault's pendulum?
I really don't want to talk about that right now. Dude.
Oh, the Mockingham principle.
Unless Piezo's here.
Fuck you,
unless
gatekeeper.
Piezo's in here.
Fuck you, gatekeeper. Mockingham
Because
principle.
he's the only
McToon,
one that
go.
can really explain
McToon,
it.
go. Mockingham principle.
Or what's it?
Nah, McToon, fuck
It's
this gatekeeper.
Piezo.
We know you're like an Antarctica gatekeeper, but Lion's trying to gatekeep right now. But yeah, go ahead. Mockingham principle. Go ahead. Go over debunk. Let's hear.
Wait, Lion's a Mason? Is that what you're saying?
No,
What I
I'm not a
gathered.
Mason.
No, he's a gate. He's a
But
gate. He's gatekeeping.
the thing is,
He's
like,
acting as
What's
a
the
if
difference?
gatekeeper.
if we're not
Like, when I
dealing,
ask him,
it's
when I
very
ask him
similar
something
to.
he knows, he's gatekeeping. Like he's literally
Hold on,
trying to gatekeep.
let's hear Lion's
Oh,
gonna lay
shit.
it out.
Hold on, he's gatekeeping. What is he keeping? That's gay.
He's keeping all the gays.
Ask Quad.
He's
Quad
keeping
would
all
know.
the gays.
Mocking him principle.
Keeping all the gays
Mocking him
locked up in
principle.
my basement. You're
And-
next.
Ooh.
It's the
Keep it up.
principle of mocking him. What the hell? Okay, who am I supposed to mock? I'm ready for it.
All right, Lion, were you gonna lay it out? Something?
Yeah, lay it out.
I mean, it's basically, if we're not dealing with the vacuum of space devoid of matter, but instead there's a substantive medium, right? That substantive medium isn't static, right? It's actually in motion. So you know how the Milkis and Morley experiment, they went out to debunk a static luminiferous ether, but the problem is it's not static, it's in motion, and the Earth instead is static.
You should
So
first read. You should read their paper before you tell people what you
I
think.
have.
So they weren't trying to debunk a stationary anything. They were attempting to confirm the ether.
But they were trying
failed.
to detect the motion of the Earth through the ether.
No, they were not. They were attempting to measure the ether using the motion of the Earth. You read the paper.
Yeah, but I know. You're right. You're right. But it was a static ether that they presupposed.
Yes.
The motion of the Earth through a static ether.
That was the hypothesis. Yeah, the Earth is orbiting the sun, and their first sentence references James Bradley 1727, and so they're hypothesizing a static ether. Yep.
And even though they got a null result, it wasn't zero. They got something, right?
Yeah, but in further experiments, the precision has been greatly expanded to be millions of times more precise, and the result is still within the margin of error, no motion.
Yeah, which proves Earth is, stationary, and everything else is moving.
If you
And the ether
presuppose
is stationary.
if you presuppose ether exists, but you need to first show that ether exists, which that experiment was attempting to establish. So, lacking that result, you need to have some other experiment that confirms the existence of ether, which doesn't exist. There's nothing I've seen.
I've heard they said the Michelson, Gale, Pierce.
That was the rotation of the Earth.
Yeah, that was a confirmation of the Sagnac effect.
Can you explain your Glober version of the Zynac effect, bro?
I don't know what the Zynac effect is.
I think we all
Sagnac.
know what the Zynac effect is.
Oh, Sagnac?
Zagniac.
Do you mean
The
S-
Zynac effect.
Xanax.
That's what you mean. Yeah.
The Zanuck effect. Come on, bro.
the Xanac?
Can you just explain the Zanuck effect already?
I don't need.
If not, then Aether Cause is the only person with an explanation, and Globe automatically.
No, it's the Xanax effect.
Xanac isn't even here. What you talking about, Willis?
Dude, the Xanax are definitely affecting me.
I had some Bushwhacker. You been to Pensacola? Bushwhacker is one of their drinks there.
Sounds like some pesticide, fucking watered down pesticide.
It's basically like it's kind of
That's
an
Bud
Irish
Light.
cream. It's an Irish cream that's
I was right. So I was
I
right.
don't know. I don't know. Maybe it uses what's in Irish cream? Whiskey? Rum?
Oh, it's
I don't
like
know.
Bailey's.
Yeah, what's in
that's
Bailey's?
hilarious. Bailey's
Dude, I
like
don't know this. Can anyone describe the Zanuck effect?
coffee or something. But it's funny. Hold on real quick. You'd be surprised how accurate you are though regarding certain beers being nothing more than watered down pesticides, dude. Seriously.
All right, Irish cream has whiskey in it. So Bushwhacker basically is Irish cream with rum in it, which I can't freaking tell the difference.
Isn't Bailey like
Rum or
sweet
cream?
though? Doesn't it just like
You can't tell
coffee
the
or
difference.
like creamy coffee?
No, there's
Yeah.
coffee would be Kahlua. So I love my favorite is Bailey's and Kahlua.
Kahlua and cream. That's what it is.
I went to Applebee's the other day and had a Bailey's and Kahlua.
Do you know that every item on the Applebee's menu, other than the salad, has MSG in it?
Yum.
Yeah.
Bro, I love MSG.
At least it did
Ice
years
and
ago.
Spin, what did you
Unless they've removed it in recent years.
That's just the Mickelson
American
Morley
Journal
experiment. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
the original.
Oh, nice. Oh, this is
bro.
amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, right there. The first sentence, the discovery of the aberration of light was soon followed by an explanation according to the emission theory. The aberration of light is from James Bradley 1727, which was a measurement of the Earth orbiting around the sun.
You know, the
So
voice classes have been working. You do have more of a radio voice now. Can you just read the whole thing for us?
Thank you. I've been trying. Maybe it's the Bushwhacker talking here.
By the way, on Tune's channel, you can hear the entire Antarctic Treaty read from start to finish. I don't know if you guys knew that, but
I did.
drop a
Yeah,
link.
I
for
read
real?
that. Yeah.
I'll drop a
I
link.
might actually have to.
It's a
Yo,
good
that
one.
actually that doesn't sound too bad, bro.
Yeah, you can
Right now I'm
enjoy a
on
coffee over
the
it.
autobiography of
I've
Andrew
read.
Carnegie is what I'm on
I've
right
discovered that basically 0 flat earthers have ever read the Antarctic Treaty. The number of times that flat earthers claim things are in the treaty that are simply not in the treaty is ridiculous.
Yeah, but there is
now.
the Antarctic
I've
Treaty
cited it
system.
before. I've
Yeah, but
definitely
there's the
read parts
Antarctic.
of it.
There's the original Antarctic Treaty, but there's also the Antarctic Treaty System. And the Antarctic Treaty System is more of like the entire network that incorporates a lot of the additional components that the
Yeah, but
United Nations
but
puts
flat
into.
earthers don't say that. They just like, oh, look at the Antarctic Treaty. I'm like, all right, well, which article and paragraph in the Antarctic Treaty says you're not allowed to explore? They never answer because they never read it. Article 2 says freedom of scientific exploration shall not be. I forgot the exact word.
Who's science?
Uh-oh.
Who's science? Who gets to do
Hold on.
science there?
D-Mock got him.
Oh, is he talking? Hold on.
I need to
Quite
grab
the
Michael
question
Buffer
for
real
it.
quick. He's supposed to.
Freedom of scientific investigation in Antarctica and cooperation toward that end, as applied during the International Geophysical Year, which is 1958, shall continue subject to the provisions of the present treaty. So quite the opposite of what almost every flat earther says about the treaty. Scientific investigation is protected so that it may happen. So if any flat earther is like, I want to do scientific exploration in Antarctica and I want to go to this position and test something, you can do it.
You don't know
It's
what
not,
science is.
it's not
Who's
free.
science?
You got to get there yourself. You got to pay for yourself to get there. You got to bring your stuff in. You got to bring your stuff out. You can't litter. You can't go there and leave your dead corpse there,
You
right?
can't
But you
manipulate
can
any
go do it.
variables. Who's science? What can you go do there? What kind of science are you
Is
doing? Are you sure
DMOC
you're just
muted or
not
is it
looking
just for
around?
me?
Oh, hold on one second,
We can
Demon.
hear we can hear D-Mock. We can hear
Let
D-Mock.
MC
Okay,
Tune unmuted you. Go ahead.
I
Sorry.
unmuted him. Okay.
I said, whose science are you doing down there? What exactly are you calling science? Looking at stuff? Or are you testing stuff and like making sure the earth doesn't spin and like stopping it and stuff? Like, what are you doing to manipulate any variables of earth?
I tested stuff. I did some
What's
experiments.
that mean? What's that mean?
I did.
Dude, I can't believe you actually read this whole thing out. That's actually, you know what, McToon? For a government show, you're all right.
All right. There's a list I put in the chat there of the experiments that we planned to do on the trip. Some were in Antarctica, some were in Punta Arenas. We of the 16, we did 14 of them.
Looking at cat toys is not experiments. You know that, right?
There were no cat toys involved.
Yeah, I bet you there was. I bet you every instrument you took's nothing but a useless cat toy because you couldn't put it on a ball, right? Couldn't do anything with it with a real ball, right? But you're going to do science on what? Science of what? Magic flat earth. So you don't have any balls to do science on. So you go in a cold spot on flat earth and act like you're on the moon. And then you do a big nothing and come back and say, look, I looked at a whole bunch of stuff and declared some shit. Is that what you do? Is that what you call
Nope,
science?
not even remotely close. But
What'd you
good try.
manipulate about the earth spin?
Well, feel free to read those experiments and update yourself on what it was,
Well,
and then
how
you
did
can
you stop the earth
ask
from spinning?
specifically which of those you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, the earth spin, how'd you stop it?
We didn't need to.
You don't need to manipulate the variable of movement of earth.
No,
to
I
find out
manipulated
Earth's movement or not.
my position on the surface of the earth.
In the best spot to do it, the smallest portion of earth, the best spot to manipulate a variable of movement or not, and you couldn't do it. You couldn't tell whether you're spinning in Antarctica or sitting still, right? Correct?
The purpose of the experiments we did was not to test specifically for rotation. That's been measured
So you
for a
can't
long
test
time.
for rotation. You have no
Oh no.
tool, no cat
Oh no,
toy
it's
that tells
been
you
done.
Earth is rotating.
It's been done. I can give you
What's
a
the
list of
force? How much is the force? What kind of force is there at it?
there's no
What?
force. It's conservation
No
of momentum.
conservation of
But here,
momentum of force
hold on.
onto you and your cat toy from a big
Momentum
Earth.
is not force. But here,
So there's nothing carried on your big toy to Earth from Earth.
all right,
So Earth doesn't even react.
here's a list. Hold on. Here's a list of the measurements
A
of the
list of
rotation of the
what?
Earth.
You didn't do it with the ball.
A
What's the Earth?
list of the measurements of the rotation of
What
the
is
Earth.
the
I just
Earth?
posted a link.
What is the Earth? What's the
I
Earth? Don't tell me about measurements of flat Earth, stupid.
I didn't
What is
talk
the Earth
about
in
that.
your idea?
I measured
You think it's a spinning ball, right? Not flat and stationary, correct? Now,
all
how
right,
did
so
you
I
prove
gave
that?
you asked about the rotation of the Earth. I gave you the
Movement of Earth.
measurements. Yep,
Yeah,
I
you
gave you
were
the
in
measurements.
Antarctica. The movement's supposed to be a different speed there. It's a smaller portion, right? So now how did you prove that or not? What's the difference from Antarctica spin to the center, the equator spin to the bottom spin? And did you do that?
So
Stupid.
the measure, we weren't doing a test on that particular
So there's
topic.
no point for you going down to Antarctica. There was no point, right?
No, there's 16 experiments that we were going to
But
do.
you didn't see if the Earth was spinning faster there, right?
That wasn't one of them. Actually, it doesn't spin faster there.
How would you know? You didn't do a test. You
Well,
don't even know if the Earth's
that's
spinning.
not the hypothesis.
How do you know if the Earth's spinning or not?
I gave you the link. Go have a look and
Yeah, but
update
you
yourself.
link
Update
of
yourself.
what?
Update
Link of
yourself
what?
on the topic, and then
That
come
you
back
don't
when
know
you have
how a
a
ball spins that
hold
you're
on.
standing on. You gave me a link
when
on how you didn't
when you've
manipulate any
updated
variables in the
yourself,
lab.
when you've
Yeah, I'm
updated
updating
yourself on the
myself with a ball.
measurements.
Yeah, I got a
Hold on.
ball that spins and it doesn't do what
Hold
you
on.
claim.
I was talking.
He's
I
gonna
was
mute you,
talking.
D-Mock. Hold on.
I was talking.
Yeah, I know, because he
I
doesn't
was
have a
talking,
ball
D-Mock.
in a lab
I did.
doing anything.
I was talking, D-Mock. I was talking. So
Yeah,
you
I
asked me
know
a
about
question.
nothing
You
about
asked
the
me a question,
experiment you
and you
didn't
wouldn't
do.
let me answer. So if you're
So
going to
how
ask
do
me
you
a
know what
question, what you're
15
going to
degree
need to
drift
do is you're
does?
going to need to let me answer instead of talking over me when I'm
With
answering
what
the
ball?
question
How are
that
you
you
gonna
asked
answer?
me. Why would you ask a question and then not let me answer? That
Where
seems a
is
little
your fucking
disingenuous of you.
demonstration
Are
of
you
Earth
scared of the
moving?
results? Is it that you
How
can't
did you
handle the results
manipulate the
that I'm going
variables?
to
I'm not scared
present?
of nothing you
Because
didn't manipulate.
the
You
experiments
can't
and
do
the
science.
measurements that I
You
post
didn't
will
do an
destroy
experiment.
your claim, and so
You
you
didn't
won't
do an
allow me to
experiment. You
talk
have to stop
and
Demok,
Earth.
present the explanation.
can we have a back and forth, Demok?
He has to
Or
stop Earth. No, he can't do that.
Not with
Fucking
Democ, you
retard's
can.
talking to
You
himself.
guys heard him
He's
before,
not
right?
addressing my point. How
I
did
You
he
won't let
literally
know
me
Earth
address
literally
is
your
being
point.
spinning?
You
like,
constantly talk over me. So how can anybody address your point if you won't stop
How do you
talking
know
over
Earth
people?
is spinning?
Why won't you stop talking over me?
Well,
Are
well,
you
you're
just make
scared
talking
to
about
let me
everything.
answer?
But
Is
I'm
it a
Can we
asking,
get some
problem with you?
moderation?
Do you refuse to allow me to
are you
answer? Is
stuck
that
on
why you
broke?
won't let me talk? You
Is
constantly
that why
talk
you
over
won't
me.
answer?
You ask a question and then I'll answer, but you won't let me answer because you
You
constantly
haven't
talk over me.
stopped Earth from spinning.
Why do you not
well,
stop talking when I'm going to answer? What is your problem that you won't let me
Bro,
answer?
McToon, you're not getting paid any extra for getting
well,
angry at
just
D-Mock.
Demok, just make note of it.
Just chill
Let him
out,
go. He's
bro.
not
We're gonna get you.
Take
We're
note
gonna
of
get you
what
this
he's
Israeli
talking to you
check.
guys about nothing.
We're gonna get
he's
you
not
this
going to go
Israeli
for
check
too
either
long.
way. You don't have to
He,
get yeah.
hold on. He's going to give you a 60
How many
second,
seconds does it
remark.
take him to say
Just
how he
let him
manipulated Earth?
let him go for 60 to 90 seconds,
Yeah,
and
how'd
then
you
you can
D-Mock is
reply.
manipulate?
Just
not
make
Shut
a
looking
note.
for
up.
the
I
response,
see
bro.
Tune. I see Tune. That is not your name. McTune. How did you manipulate the Earth from spinning or not?
I
Yo,
just wanted to
I
go
see
back and forth.
tunes, man. Watch out.
fucking
So
so
now we
funny.
get no answer, and he can't
Yikes.
manipulate the Earth to find
Will
out
you let
whether
him go
that's
Dropping
for a
a lot from the
minute
small
so
mic,
we can
man.
have
ground.
like a reasonable discussion? Or
You don't know what a reasonable discussion is. In what lab did he spin anything 15 degrees to see his cat toys perfect any kind of thing?
Yo, D-Mock's so creative when he gets into this mode, bro.
Wait, you think that's creative and
What kind
interesting?
of experiments could they do, D-Mock, to prove the globe? Like in the lab, what kind of like watery ball experiments could they do?
What could they do? They could put something on there and spin it 15 degrees per hour, and then they could stop it and then see if that gave the same reading to their cat toy tool, right? And then if it gives a reading and they get a differential, they sit it on Earth that they think is that same ball with the same cat toy, and it'll do the same effect. Ball reaction. That's how it works.
All right, spin up
Oh,
cat toy.
what cat
Stop
toy?
it.
Yeah, wait,
No.
which cat toy?
A fool's
Yo,
Colt pendulum, a caved-in dish experiment,
Brothers of
and a gyro compass. They are all cat toys that are only going to do what they do on a flat Earth, and it's proven. On a stationary object, they do what they fucking do.
yeah.
On a ball, they do not do that. They do
Don't
not
forget the
do
Dude, I
lasers.
what
fucking love D-Mock, bro.
they do not do what they do on a flat plane. So McToon, when are you ready to do some real live experiments? A flat plane with your cat toys on them and your real spinning ball in a lab. Liar.
Bro, it's so funny.
Yo, lasers and pendulums are definitely cat toys. It's hilarious.
Yo, lasers and pendulums are cat. Yeah, how did he come up? Bro, how does he? He's so creative, bro. It's like, how does he come up with this shit?
Because Globers forced me to tell them about their cat toy tricks when they swing a string on the fucking ground and it goes back and forth and the cat chases it like McToon. And he's like, oh, definitely globe because the floor's not moving, but the cat toy is. Must mean Earth's moving. You didn't manipulate any variable to figure that out. moving building guy. He thinks the floor's moving separate from the ceiling. McToon does because the string's swinging. How weird. I didn't know they were separated from each other. I thought the building was connected to the string and the floor.
Cat toy tools, bro. It's pretty fire, bro.
Listen to the name of the experiments. You have a fool's cult pendulum. You have a caved-in dish experiment, right? Neither one of them were valid. The only thing that was valid were they were stationary, and they got to go make up lies. There is
What
no
about the
spin
Mickelson
when you do
Morley?
that reading.
What
No,
about
put
Mickelson
it on a
Morley?
ball. Put it on the glass. Put it on a ball. Put the Mickelson Morley cat toy on a ball that spins.
What about like the dirt and the water? What do you think about that?
Everything has an effect on each other, just like a balloon.
That's just air.
Air is just basically energy. When you put air in water, it's trapped. Water is another source of energy. It's a medium. It's a liquid medium of energy, and it's more dense than the air. So only
Yo, is he
energy.
is he
Hold on,
still
hold
in
on.
here?
Energy can
Dirt
trap
is
it.
just condensed water.
I'm not talking about dirt. I'm talking about
Yo, did
air
McToon
and
leave?
water.
I'm here.
Oh, he left, didn't he? Oh, you still here? No,
He's
I was wondering. You said that the Earth rotating. That's not an actual force,
Rotation is not a force.
but I'm pretty sure you guys say that you can pick it up with accelerometers.
Yep, accelerometers do not measure force. They measure acceleration.
Right, and mass times acceleration equals what?
They measure voltage.
Force.
Mass
across
times
resistance.
acceleration is a force, but acceleration alone is not a force.
Right, but we have the mass of the Earth rotating, right, i.e., accelerating,
Yeah.
and that's not a force.
No.
Force over mass.
Why not?
Why is something that's not a force not a force? Because it's not a force.
Show
That's
us how
just
spinning thing doesn't create a force
that's
or an
begging the
effect
question,
on the
dude.
other object.
But
No,
no, I'm
hold
you're
on.
curious.
begging.
I'm curious because
You
I
can't
understand.
prove it.
You're
All right, go ahead.
You're just getting the concepts misaligned here.
Off what ball? What
Physics here.
object you talking about? You're misleading the concept with no physics. Get a ball out and show us how it doesn't impart its momentum or force onto the other object with a string or whatever you're talking about. Show us.
Right.
Show us how it doesn't connect to it and add to it, liar.
Yeah, get that fucking ball out.
That makes
Put
no
the
sense
string
at all.
on it and spin it and show us the no force that it adds on the string, liar. You're a liar.
Yeah.
Straight up liar. Doesn't even know physics. What physics
He
are you
knows
talking
physics.
about, McToon, that a
I
ball
could
doesn't
be wrong,
impart
dude.
its
I
force?
just want a clarification. That's all, man. I mean,
Yeah, I'll be happy to clarify.
Refresh.
The problem is that DMOC derails everything. So I'll
No,
be
I
happy
don't
to answer
man. A real
as
physical
long as
ball
DMOC
spinning,
doesn't
stupid,
derail.
and the rock gets spinning faster and faster and faster. Then if you release it, it'll go to space like a flywheel. Shut up. I know how real physics works. You don't, liar. You're the one that doesn't like real physics here. I got a
Yeah,
ball
liar.
that says that the physics are imparted onto the cat toy string, buddy. You show me different, liar. My
Yeah,
money's
liar.
on the toy, the ball. My money's on the ball
I know.
imparting something.
So we have I'm pretty sure that so we have with classical mechanics we have F equals ma, right?
Yep.
But then when you consider relativistic gravity, you have F equals mass times the gravitational acceleration, which is not a force. You guys say that's a pseudo force, right? Similar to the way that when things are in free fall, right? They don't experience any forces acting upon them. There's zero G's.
Well, they do experience
But
forces. Just that the forces are equal and opposite.
zero G's, dude.
That's
right?
equal and opposite. Yeah, summation of forces can equal zero.
Okay, all right. So they
That's what
cancel
happens
out.
in
Then you have no.
that's what happens in free fall.
Then you have no motion.
No.
If summation of forces
Right.
equals zero.
No,
You have no
summation of forces has nothing. That doesn't tell you anything about the motion.
All right. Well, hold on. Let me just
Yeah,
get this
it does.
out real quick. So we have proper and coordinate acceleration, right? Not to be confused. Like you got the revolution of the Earth, right? It's in zero G's. It's not experiencing any forces. But the rotation of the Earth is
Hold on.
is proper
Zero G
acceleration.
doesn't mean it's not experiencing forces. Zero G's means that all of the forces summed are zero.
Okay, I get that. They cancel out, right?
Okay.
But it's zero G's or no forces acting upon it, dude.
No
'Cause
net
they've
forces
canceled out.
would be best.
They're-
Yeah.
Okay, they've been canceled out, right? Due to
Okay.
the centripetal and centrifugal forces cancel each other out.
Centripetal and centrifugal. Yep.
I said it fine, dude. It's two ways to say it.
So no, there's two different forces
Show
that
the
are
difference
pronounced
between the two.
pronounced differently.
Show
So
them. Demonstrate both of them at the same time.
One is centripetal. That is the outward.
Demonstrate
the inward
Inward.
force. And
Demonstrate
centrifugal.
both with a ball.
Stop, DMUC. Centrifugal is the outward.
Of what object?
And stop, Demuck.
Yeah.
Of what object are you talking about, liar?
All right,
You
Noah.
have a ball.
As soon as Demuck is done, Noah, I'll be happy to engage.
You stop lying about centripetal and centrifugal with a ball, liar. Demonstrate
I
them
need some
both.
comedic relief sometimes.
Yeah, Nicktoon is comedy. Comedy with no physics. He keeps reading stories about Goldilocks liking the warm ball, but he doesn't have one. He doesn't have centripetal or centrifugal force both ways with the ball. Show us what you're talking about, liar.
Yeah, bust out that ball in the lab.
So I say centripetal and centrifugal, but maybe it is centripetal and centrifugal. But
Wonder what
I've heard it
object.
said up both ways.
Yeah,
How would you feel in that with no force?
Centrifugal is like a combination of the two that people kind of mix up. It's centripetal and centrifugal.
Forces.
It's okay. It's okay to get to kind of be confused about it because
Yo,
so
nah,
many people
dude.
get it wrong.
I'm not confused about it, bro. Because there's two ways to say it.
Can you put Democ on like a standby for a moment? Like let him go back and forth with Lion? I don't know. Man. Just keeps interrupting.
The only point I was trying to make, bro, is that you have different types of acceleration. Some are considered fictitious and some are considered real.
Yeah.
The Earth rotating, that's considered real, proper acceleration versus the Earth's revolution around the sun is not considered proper acceleration. And I would consider the rotation of the Earth in your model to be a real force acting upon real objects. So that conservation of momentum that you speak of is not fictitious. It's real. Unlike the revolution of the Earth.
You still switched from forces to conservation of momentum. Force and momentum are different.
I get that. But momentum in action, momentum when it accelerates or decelerates, when you have positive or negative acceleration of momentum, that's a force, dude.
Yes.
Now, if it's a constant velocity, you could be pedantic and be like, oh, well, that's not a force, but it's still a force, dude.
Velocity is not a force. A variation in velocity requires a force.
Spin is force.
I know a constant velocity. Go ahead.
15 degrees per hour. Spin force.
That's not a force.
Not in general relativity.
Possible to have a constant on a wobbly ball of
One
poop.
trick is to tell them stories that don't go anywhere.
Yeah, balls of poop.
What was that?
And in those days, Nichols had pictures
fire.
of bumblebees on them.
That's fire. Yo, this is my favorite government agent.
Mashed potatoes in a
Give
ball.
me 5 B's for a quarter,
So
you'd say.
imagine an unsmooth mountain
Now,
ball of
where
mashed
were we?
potatoes
Oh, yeah.
being equal.
So I
And then when
tied
the
an
ball
onion to my
spins,
belt,
right?
which was the style at the time.
Big tunes on a
The
merry-go-round.
important thing was that I had an onion on my belt.
McToon
Yo,
believes
who
he's
is
on a
that?
Which was the
merry-go-round.
style at the time.
This is great.
Is that McToon?
Yeah, McToon. I don't know how he's doing that, but that's just fire.
He's on a merry-go-round.
Yo, you got him to crack.
One trick is to tell them stories that don't go anywhere.
Yeah, like a merry-go-round.
And in
that
those
spins through a
days,
spinning-
Nichols had pictures of bumblebees on them.
Yeah, spinning ball with
Give
no
me 5 B's for a quarter, you'd say.
Only got one.
Now,
it's
where
like
were
an
we?
antibiotic.
Oh, yeah.
Like defense.
Bro, you're getting defeated by Gramps. What do you have to say,
Yeah,
Democ?
that didn't make any sense.
So I
Grandpa
tied an
doesn't do
onion to my
physics.
belt, which was the style at the time.
Yo, but it's crazy.
So dead.
So McToon thinks he's on
The
a
important
on a
thing
Ferris
was
wheel,
that I
right?
had an onion on my belt,
At the fairgrounds, that's going in a circle.
which was the
while it's
style
spinning.
at the time.
That's what he thinks.
Funny, bro.
One trick is to tell them stories that don't go anywhere.
A globe.
And in those days, Nichols had pictures of bumblebees on them.
All right, dude. All right, bro.
Give me 5 B's for a quarter, you'd say.
Give me 5 B's for a quarter.
How much for a moon rock?
Now, where were we? Oh, yeah.
That's so
Dude,
funny, bro.
Democ had dude, that was a good snapback, Democ. I'm impressed. That was quick. How much for a moon rock, he said.
A moon rock. It cost
So
you
I tied an
$47
onion to my
million
belt.
these
The
days.
important thing was that I had an onion on my belt.
If Democ, if you
It was the style at the time.
if you weren't on the bad end of this, Democ, you know you'd be
Trick
laughing.
is to tell them
You know you'd be
stories that don't go anywhere.
Oh, come on, dude. You're gonna repeat that again?
Yeah, like
As long as Democ is interrupting.
Days,
I'm so
Nichols
done, dude.
had pictures of bumblebees on them.
If Democ wants to derail the conversation, I'll be happy to keep doing this.
Oh, he's muting right now, and he's laughing his ass off.
If Noah,
Dude, this is great. This is like the
if
best thing
Noah
ever.
wants to have a real conversation, I'm happy to engage. But Democ doesn't want to allow that to happen.
That was good.
Yeah, I know, merry-go-round. You live on a merry-go-round that spins in a circle.
And in those days, Nichols had pictures of bumblebees on them.
Oh, so easy.
Yeah, McToon had pictures of
Give me
15
5
degrees per
bees for
hour.
a quarter, you'd say.
He's going to be crying with the rest of us soon. Oh, shit.
Wait, so I got a question for you, man. Summation of forces stuff.
Okay.
So you disagreed with me that if it doesn't equal 0, there will be motion?
If you sum the forces or the accelerations, and you don't get 0, then there will be a variation in the velocity.
Yeah, so you got motion. Right. And static acceleration is always 0.
Well, there's potentially motion already. It's just a variation in the velocity.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're cool.
Yeah, right.
That's just how they differentiate, statics, dynamics, and all that. Newtonian mechanics. It's on a bridge or like you standing on the ground. If the ground can't react with equal and opposite force, you fell through the roof. So there's motion.
So I just posted a link to the OpenStax high school physics book. Really good book. That's the book that we're using for homeschool physics with my kid right now.
Do you homeschool them with Hebrew roots ideology?
No, our curriculum is Sunlight for the basic stuff, but now we don't have any elementary kids, so there's less of that. It's still a lot of book reading and stuff, but then the physics or the science is OpenStax physics, and the math is MathUC. So MathUC has algebra, geometry, algebra 2, and then a handful of different options for like senior year stuff or past to algebra 2.
You're gonna start making AI thumbnails?
Me?
Yeah, like as yourself as like Shazam or something.
No, I generally don't put myself in thumbnails. There's a lot of tutorials about how to get more views that say put your face on it, but I just don't. I can't do that. I don't feel like plastering my face on everything.
But the whole video is your face.
It is. I don't know. I just don't. I guess I'm not Mr. Beast. Every one of his thumbnails is the same picture of him with his mouth open, smiling. So I guess I could do that. I just don't feel like that is me.
All right. Anyways, so relativity and velocity changing in a gravity well or whatever without any force. Go ahead.
So within our reference frame, which is low velocity in comparison to other things, and not near any massive gravity sources, or mass
next to the Earth.
Yeah. It's not large enough. So even the sun is you need to be very close to the sun for it to affect. So outside of that, which is the reference frame that we experience, general relativity reduces to the Newtonian solution. So F equals G M1 M2 over R squared is completely applicable within our reference frame. The only place in our solar system that it's needed to compute anything is the precession of Mercury, which is a couple arcseconds per century.
Wait, the only thing that it's applicable is the thing that was used to prove it was real?
Yeah, that was one of the 3 fundamental tests of relativity's early adoption. There were three predictions it made, and the first one was already matching. The measurement had been done before, and then relativity's computation output that same value that matched the measurement. So it was confirmed immediately. But then there were 2 more. The second one was confirmed in 1919 with Eddington, and then many times since then. That was just the seminal experiment. There have been multiple confirmations since then with significantly higher precision.
You think something in free fall is experiencing a force, like pushing it down towards the Earth?
Something in free fall has multiple forces acting on it simultaneously that sum to 0.
Okay, what are the forces acting on, let's say, a brick dropped on the moon as it free falls towards the lunar surface?
Toward the moon. toward the moon.
Inside of the Hollywood set. Go ahead.
Well, there's no Hollywood set. That was confirmed in Apollo 16. In other places, but I like the one from Apollo 16. But so what forces are acting on it? Well, you've got the downward acceleration due to.
So you're saying that downward acceleration, you're saying gravity is a force?
In our reference frame, it is, yes.
On the reference frame of what? Someone standing on the lunar surface?
In our reference frame, the two things that I mentioned earlier, where we're not moving at a significant velocity in relation to the other things around us, and we're not in proximity of an incredibly large source of mass.
Yeah, I think you're incorrect about that, dude. About gravity being a force.
Within a reference frame, it is, and I have a citation.
What's your citation?
Yeah, hold on, I'll give you 4 of them. There you go. There's the 4. General Relativity, first edition, page 76. Hawking and Ellis, Large-Scale Structures of Space-Time, page 71. Misner, Thorne, and Wheeler, Gravitation, page 412. And Sean Carroll, Space-Time and Geometry, an Introduction to General Relativity, section 4.2. All 4 of those show the relationship between general relativity and the Newtonian gravity within our reference frame. 3 of them start with general relativity and show the Newtonian from there, and one of them starts with Newtonian and goes the other direction. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're misreading the books.
Oh, well, have you read them?
Because gravity is not. I haven't
within
read
our
them
reference
exactly, but
within our reference frame, gravity is 100% a force. So, and to quote Einstein, no one must think that Newton's great creation can be overthrown in any real sense by this or any other theory. His clear and wide ideas will forever retain their significance as the foundation on which our modern conception of physics have been built. So, outside of the precession of Mercury, science uses F equals G M1 M2 over R squared everywhere.
Yeah, but that's not as a
outside
that's
of
that's as a practical reason, not as like an ontological statement that gravity is a force.
Well,
As for relativity, something in free fall is not actually experiencing a force.
According to general relativity, within our reference frame, gravity is a force. Now, you can disagree with that, but you will be disagreeing with the people that understand this topic. Yeah, you are disagreeing. You are disagreeing with the people that understand this topic at deep levels.
There's other and much more numerous people who say the exact opposite to these four things.
Name one.
So this is like a
Name
cherry
one.
pick. I mean, do you need me to?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Einstein's online Max Planck Institute. Gravity is tied to geometry, not force. Authoritative, most educated, one of the most authoritative
Drop them in the chat
educational
so we can all
sources of
have a look.
relativity. Stanford Gravity Probe B
Drop
NASA
them in the chat so we can look at the context
projects
instead of
from
cherry
Stanford
picking.
University. Relative material, course statement, gravitation arises not as a force, but rather a feature of space-time itself.
Go ahead, drop them in the chat so we can test whether or not you're just cherry picking out
Standard
of context.
I will. Just give me a second. Standard reference, physics. Let's see. Space.com, science communication based on physics sources, summarizing GR. In this theory, it is not really a force anymore. Stephen Hawking's via standard physics explanation, widely cited formula, gravitation is not a force like other forces, but space-time is curved. I mean, this is like pretty basic stuff, actually. I'm surprised you don't know this. But I guess you're more of a rocket guy than like a physics guy. Lucky rockets. I'll start grabbing these links. We'll put them all in one area for you mixing. This is actually what they teach in university. Gravity's not a force.
Oh, you've been to university and learned this?
I don't need you to get freaky and try to dox me. That's weird.
All of the university physics courses I took treated gravity as Newtonian gravity.
Yeah, practically, but not in relativity. Relativity is...
You said all of the physics, all of the university.
Yeah, that's for like engineering and shit, which is about practically building shit. If you're like learning physics proper, right, they will tell you right out the gate that it's not
No, I know that you didn't even take physics in high school.
You don't know that.
I do.
You definitely don't know that.
He looked up your transcripts.
He's a fool. He's just proven himself a fool, objectively, to me.
That was a strange guess.
But anyway, for your benefit, and I guess the enlightenment of the whole room, I don't know, is anyone else? I'll tag IC Spin, even though maybe IC Spin already knows this and he's just afraid to confront McToon.
Oh no!
I'm sorry.
Every course I took about orbital mechanics showed that it was a force.
Sorry,
when you used
I was jamming out
Newtonian.
to my Democ Hot Fire album. What were you saying, Noah?
Oh, about gravity. Not being a classic force in the Newtonian sense, and it actually being like ontologically a different thing entirely that causes objects to move towards masses.
How is
Not
it that
being
the
a force, but a
ISS? Hold
stretch.
on. How is it that the ISS orbits the Earth?
That just has nothing to do with the topic at all.
Yeah, it
It's a
has
Absolutely
complete
everything
red
does.
to do with
herring.
the topic. Has
It's a
everything
complete
to
red
do with the
herring.
topic. No, it's a
Yeah,
complete
it's
example that we use Newtonian physics to figure out the
Well, I
movement
didn't
of
realize the
space.
time wasters here. Yeah, I'm not responding to that guy.
Well,
you
the
can
only
use
reason that I
Newtonian.
asked you
You can
is
use
because you agree that it exists. I remember you saying this the other day.
you can use Newtonian mechanics, right? Because it's simpler, but that's not what you guys claim is actually
It's
going
weird.
on
You
in
sound
reality.
different than Noah, who was most definitely going to
Yeah,
respond.
well, it doesn't matter. Is it a one-on-one?
I don't know. I mean, are you white knighting or are you going to let him respond? Go ahead, Noah.
No, dude. I mean, I've been in and out the whole time.
I know.
Not
All
like it's
right.
my
You know
first
what? I'll
entrance.
chill. But no, Noah
You,
had a response, I thought.
you
He
guys
started
know
A
that
it.
you can.
response to what? What now? Sorry.
You
How
can
is it
start
that
with
the ISS, hold on, chill. How is it that the ISS rotates, does an orbit around the Earth continuously?
Oh, I mean, are you asking me to steel man the globe argument?
No, I just want to know how it works, if not the globe. I want to know how you think it works.
Okay, yeah, that is completely a red herring to
Oh, okay, well then how does it work on flat Earth?
that is complete red herring to the conception of gravity and the difference between those two conceptions in a Newtonian worldview versus Einsteinian worldview. That is no relation to the topic at hand.
Well, first of all, if you want to steel man the globe, you're going to say gravity, obviously, right? I
So
mean, it's
do
not a
you
trick
actually
question.
know, and do you know the difference between Einsteinian and Newtonian gravity, or just none of you guys know
I'm
that?
asking a
Not
simple
even
question,
McToon.
bro.
I,
Like,
I already covered that. I understand it.
it's the
Your
same
question
reason
is
that the
no,
sun
you don't
stays the same
understand,
size
McToon. I
throughout the
just
day.
linked you a bunch of things. You can go look it up on Google in 30 seconds. You're cherry picking people that probably wouldn't even agree with you if they were brought here. And probably
my
the rest of their
goodness.
publications don't even agree with you.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry that I asked a tough question that you're avoiding at all costs. I'll step back.
You know that you can start with
That's just
Einsteinian
weird.
physics.
I think these guys are doing cover for the fact that McToon doesn't
I mean,
actually
bro,
know the fact that gravity is not a force in Einsteinian worldview.
You know
I
that you
didn't
can
claim
start.
that. I said within our reference frame, it is a force. Outside of our reference frame, it's different. But in our reference frame, it's a force.
Which reference frame is that exactly?
The one the third time where we are not moving at large relativistic speeds and where there is not a significantly large mass nearby.
That's still your
There is a
basic.
significantly large mass of the moon. The scenario was on the lunar surface in the
No,
basement of Hollywood.
that's not significantly large. Where that reference frame is not applicable.
How explain to me how something can be both a force and not a force at the same exact time without violating the
Be-
law of non-contradiction?
Oh God, here we go
because
with the
it
law of non-contradiction.
because it depends on which reference frame you're in.
That doesn't help your case, dude.
It certainly does.
No,
I
in
understand
reality, how do you not violate the law of non-contradiction and state that can be both a force and not a force at the same exact time?
Because they're in different reference frames.
That doesn't help your case.
Yeah,
It
it
certainly
does.
does.
You know you can start with Einsteinian.
It's like
and
saying, no,
derive-
dude.
Again, you can start with Einsteinian rules and end up with the Newtonian rules. It's a subset.
Did he cut out?
derivative.
Physics is a subset of Einsteinian physics.
Yo, so general relativity, the large scale structure of space-time gravitation, and space-time and geometry and introduction to general relativity, when they're deriving the Newtonian field, the Newtonian forms from the Einsteinian, they're not making an ontological claim. They're saying that in practicality,
All right.
in practicality it looks like it's Newtonian, but ontologically there is no force of gravity.
All right, so let me read this from a private conversation between myself, several people, and Dr. Danny Faulkner, a young Earth creationist who has a PhD in astronomy, the science of astronomy, said this: about flat earthers that go and start trying to talk about general relativity. Quote, if they had taken any physics course, they would know better. I have yet to see a university physics textbook that even mentions within general relativity gravity not being a force. Rather, throughout these textbooks, gravity is viewed as being a force. This is an excellent example of flat earthers hearing something and not understanding the context, and hence reaching a completely wrong conclusion, unquote.
That said absolutely nothing about the argument at hand, dude.
Actually, it said everything.
It went
It's
right
just
to the heart of
rhetoric.
it.
Yeah,
It
and,
was
further, and
right in the
furthermore,
heart
I
of it.
actually
It's pretty boring from someone that's in here a lot.
I just provided
and doesn't talk.
from like
It's
the
pretty
main
boring.
sources, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 links. So
But
like your
those
whole
links
thing,
don't
your whole
support
thing.
they don't support
Yes, they
anything
do.
about what I said, that general relativity isn't necessary within our
You
reference
appeal.
frame. If you
You
want,
appealed.
you can derive using
No,
general relativity.
that's a
You
reduction saying
no, it's
that
not.
Newtonian physics. Yes, it is. It's
Speak
a
to me,
reduction
Johnny.
saying that under these conditions, Newtonian physics is practically true, but it's not speaking ontologically. They're not saying that. Oh,
Nobody
over here,
cares.
over
Nobody cares about saying ontologically doesn't make something stop existing.
please stop interrupting me because I'm crushing you. In this case, gravity is not a force. But now that we're in this case, gravity is a force all of a sudden because we're on this scale. No, it says practically gravity is a force, but when we speak ontologically, no, it remains a non-force. You
But
can
when
ask
you
the
speak,
That's the
yeah,
theoretical.
got
truth.
it.
That's the truth.
Dude, this is your worldview that you're wrong
All
on.
right, here you go. Even does it ontologically mean that masses do not attract masses? Of course, it does not mean that. Masses still attract masses.
No, dude. That's been replaced with the bending and warping of space time, dude.
And yet,
Even
still
though
masses attract masses.
even though
What bends
even though you
space
can
time?
hold on, bro, even though you can derive Newton from Einstein or Einstein from Newton, right? For all practical purposes or intents and purposes, they're the same, right? Mathematically equivalent. In
No,
reality, right? In
physically
reality,
equivalent.
you have the bending and warping of space-time that
What bends
causes the
space
space
time?
station to
Yeah,
actually move
yeah,
around
and that
in a
causes,
geodesic.
and the
Yeah.
bending and warping of spacetime causes masses to attract masses.
Nope,
Because
nope. See,
mass
this is a difference.
mass
You're
bends
conflating the
space
Can I get
cause.
time.
some
You're
time to?
conflating the cause where initially the
Mass
cause,
bends space
according to
I
time.
didn't,
Newton,
I didn't, I
the
don't care about the
cause was.
cause. I didn't
Yo,
state
can I
the
get
All
some
cause.
right.
time? Can I
Well, we're
get some
talking about the
time?
cause. We're talking about the cause here, right?
Mass
And
bends
I got
one
space
is
some. I got
time.
something pretty
mass
edifying right
attracting
So
here.
mass.
everybody
The
needs
other
to go
one
one at a time here,
is
right?
the curvature of space time itself.
I got
Which is
something
caused
pretty
by what?
edifying here, Lion.
Which is caused by
Someone make
what?
Shill pipe down in some way and stop
Oh
not
no, I
wasting your
just want
time.
him to tell me
But here we
what
go.
causes space
In
time to
general
bend.
relativity, gravity is not fundamentally a force, but it can appear as a force depending on your reference frame. So, like what I said, in practicality and in appearance, but not ontologically or
Sweet. So
That's
meaningfully.
masses
exactly
attract
what Ping
In
masses.
said.
That's what I
Literally
said.
exactly what Ping said.
Thank you for supporting my claim 100%.
please be quiet so I can read the rest of it.
Dude, I just want to boast a little bit about how you supported my claim.
Sir, please be quiet. No, it
Thank
actually
you for
destroyed your,
supporting my claim.
Ryan!
it actually destroyed your
Moderator!
claim. Your claim was actually destroyed.
No, it
And
actually
now
was
you're
supported by
just
what you said.
like being completely disingenuous, but it shows. In general relativity, the clean coordinate independent statement is that free falling objects follow geodesics, meaning they feel no force at all. What we call gravity is the curvature of space-time, not a force field like electromagnetism. However, when you describe motion in a particular reference frame, especially one that is not freely falling, like standing on Earth, the equations of motion pick up extra terms that look exactly like a force. So they look exactly like a force, but they're not in actual reality. Such
He knows
as
that.
negative delta phi in the Newtonian limit. This is why, like in textbooks like general relativity and space-time geometry and the introduction of general relativity, they show gravity emerging as a force in that approximation. So your own book is talking about a approximation, a practical thing that they act like is a force because in practicality it acts like a force, but in reality it's not actually a force. It just appears like a force. reality being the relativistic worldview.
Thank you for supporting my claim.
That completely destroyed your claim, dude.
Completely
You're a
restates what he
psychopath
said
if you think
earlier.
it supported your claim at all.
No, it doesn't, dude.
It completely states what he said earlier.
Why are you guys denying the obvious?
Why are you denying
Dude,
the
it's just
fact
kind of
that
a weird, like, we should actually clip this up because this is a weird, like, trying to gaslight us that now we're supporting your claim. Like,
you
You
are?
should
Oh, you
definitely
did.
clip
that's
it up.
so
I
crazy.
would clip it up if I was you.
You basically quoted me. So please
No,
clip
no,
it
no.
up.
I didn't quote you. I quoted something that showed you were wrong, and then you
No, it
claim
showed
that
you
that's
was
what you've
right.
been saying from the beginning. From the beginning, you've been denying we've been denying the actuality of the force, saying that it's just an apparent force. You've been saying no, it really is a force. This is a real thing. And then when I look
No,
into it,
no,
and because I
that's not
already
what I
knew
said.
this, that
That's not what I said.
a practical approximation,
I said
not
in our reference frame.
not a theory of not a ontological argument of what gravity actually is.
Plenty of time to talk. Plenty of time to talk.
Doesn't matter. You lied. That was never your position. Your position was that the gravity was a real force. And what I just read was disagreeing with you.
It doesn't matter what reference
No, within
frame,
your
dude. The
reference
downward,
frame, that's just no. Within
Noah,
your
let me
reference
get
frame,
in.
wait, no. Within your reference frame, it is just an approximate practicality. It's not actually a description of what's happening really ontologically in reality, and that's admitted in the books you referenced, sir.
Ontologically, you know what that word means?
The
You use
study of
that word a
being.
lot. I don't think you use that word. I don't think you know it means what you think it means.
Ooh, I love the
The
princess
study of
bride.
being. But you had to agree, right, that Einstein did not consider downward acceleration as a force. Gravity is not a force.
What is it then?
Yet
Hold on.
Depending on working on space time.
Okay, I'll answer that right now. Icy Spin. Gravity is not a fundamental force in GR, but is a force-like effect that depends on your reference frame and becomes
sweet. So mass attracts mass.
It creates a force,
what you're
which
saying.
in effect is a force, right?
So in the
That's
end,
what you're saying.
McToon is a complete coward.
I
He
mean,
doesn't like
in
showing
effect,
what
anything
it's
you're
a
wrong.
saying
force.
is
Yeah.
mass
You're
attracts
completely
mass.
untrustworthy. Let alone your shirt.
all
You're
of this
completely
just
untrustworthy.
says mass attracts mass. That's all you're
That's
saying.
a Mod and Bailey. That's a Mod and Bailey.
It's
No, it's not.
basically like you're
Yes, it is.
saying.
It's
It's
just
basically
limited,
like you're.
Oh my gosh.
limited brain cells.
I got to think of an analogy. You're saying that
It's
something
hard.
that
The
creates a
analogy's
force
tough.
isn't effectively a force, right? Is that what you're saying? And we're talking. You're going to relativity, which I know you're going to do because
What is
it's in the
pseudo mean?
handbook. But like, if you're just talking
Effectively a
about a
force.
simple explanation from a Newtonian standpoint, then it's effectively a force, right, Noah?
What we call a gravitational force is a frame dependent
Like I
effective
said.
description that appears in non-inertial frames or in the Newtonian limit. The Newtonian limit being
Oh my
a
gosh.
mathematical thing that a mathematical
Exactly what I was saying.
being
I
a
love you.
mathematical.
Thank
Yes,
you,
exactly
Noah.
what you're
You're a
saying.
good son. You're a good
What you were
son.
saying. Exactly what you were saying, but actually disagreeing with what you were saying in
Oh no.
entirety. It's
Elaborate.
saying that stop gaslighting the room. It's saying that the Newtonian limit is actually a practical approximation. It is not what's
Yes.
ontologically going on in the
Yeah,
situation.
that's what I said.
What is actually going on in the situation is a frame-like effective description that appears. This is all an appearance. It's not
Exactly.
actually. It's not
100% I
actually.
agree.
There's not actually
That's
a
what I was
force.
saying.
It's actually
Yep,
not
that's what I was
experiencing
saying.
a force. No,
Thank
you
you
were
for
saying
saying
No,
it
what
it's
I was
not what
saying.
you were saying. Stop
It's like
saying that,
people
dude.
can't
It's
really
not
know
what
what
you
the
were
fuck they're
saying.
talking about.
McToon's a liar.
Gravity is an effect. It's
Yeah,
not
I
a
just beat you.
force.
I think this is. I don't know if this is your
It's an
first time getting
effect.
to beat in a debate, but I think it's my first time to beating you in a debate.
Oh my gosh. You've completely supported
I
everything
think
I've
it is,
said.
bro. I think no. You're a liar.
Pigeon chest.
You've
There we
been
go.
defeated.
But
Are you
since you've never taken
You've now
since you've
moved
never
to
taken a
my
physics
side.
course,
You've now
since
moved
you've
to
never
my
taken a
side, and
physics
now you're
course, you don't
slandering me.
understand this topic.
I
You've
think
now
he's
moved
gonna
to
try to
my
take this win
side
from you,
and
Noah.
resorted to slander because you have just lost a debate to me, sir.
Noah, can you
Pigeon
define the
chest.
word projection?
It's gonna be difficult for him to accept.
No,
Hold on a
he
second.
changed his.
Look up.
He changed
Type
his.
in
He changed.
define
Hey, wait, no,
projection.
icy spin. My position was that gravity wasn't a force. His position was that it was. I just referenced the fact that it's not actually a force, and
in
now
our
he's
reference
saying
frame.
It's only
now
effectively
he
a
is
force.
saying now he is saying
In
no.
our reference frame.
Now he is saying that was his position,
It
So
is.
he's
Yes,
allowed. So
within
he
our reference
just
frame.
he just got. Yeah, you're done. You just
But if
got
The
cooked.
only I
irony-
Well,
could
he's
talk.
You
he's
just
talking
got
about the
cooked.
relevant frame
You
of
Why are
just
you
reference.
got
talking
cooked, bro.
constantly?
You're a liar.
Wait a
Yo, the
second.
irony.
One trick is
Wait.
to
One
tell
second.
them stories
Yeah.
that don't go
Hold on.
anywhere.
Let me elaborate for
And in
Noah real
those
quick.
days,
You got
Nichols had
He's
cooked.
pictures
obviously
of
talking about
bumblebees
the
on them.
relevant
Cooked,
frame of
bro.
reference,
He
Give
got
right?
me
cooked.
5 B's for a quarter, you'd
He got
say.
cooked.
Now, where were
He's
we?
cooked.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
God, you're
He's
getting
powering
demo.
now.
So
man,
I
all this
tied an
guy
onion
shit.
to my belt.
He's
That's so
getting
fucking
Which
demo.
was the
tired.
silence. The important thing was
You
Yeah.
that I
child.
had an onion on my belt.
You're a
Yo,
child.
the
He said
irony is
he
that
said
I
Which was the
gravity.
agree.
style at the
I
time.
He said
agree. I
gravity
agree that
wasn't a
One
force.
trick is to tell them
gravity.
See,
stories that don't
Demok
go
is
That's what I
definitely
anywhere.
said.
crying
And
right
in
now
those
because
days,
he's
He
not a
said
part of it.
Nichols had pictures
he
of
said gravity
bumblebees
I'm
on
pretty
them.
was a
sure
Give
he
me
force.
said.
5 B's
It
for a
Justified.
wasn't.
quarter, you'd
Everybody just
say.
getting
He said gravity was a
gay.
force.
Okay. Do I
He
get
said
a
Yo, the
chance to
gravity
irony
was
is,
a
talk now?
force.
no, you don't.
He
Yo,
said
Do I get a
gravity was
chance
a
to?
force.
Why don't I get a
Hold on,
chance to
Gravity was
talk
the
now?
same
Gravity
thing.
was
Why
a
is it that I
force.
don't? Why are you going to constantly talk over me? Why won't you let me talk? Are you scared to let me talk? Why is it? Why won't you let me talk? Are you scared to let me talk because I'm going to set the record straight?
You used up
Why
your
won't you let me
time.
set the
With the
record straight? Why
soundboard.
is it that
You're a
you constantly want to
proven
talk
liar.
over me? Is it
You're
because
a
you're scared?
proven liar.
Seems like you're
You're a proven
scared.
liar.
I think you're scared because you know that the
Can you
things
guys,
that
please, everybody stop talking. Everybody stop talking. Thank you. I did mute Noah for a second and Snacks. Sorry, guys. I'll unmute you in a second. You guys, dude, I'm on a phone call. Can you guys please chill? I don't know if there's mods in here. You guys, people are listening. I know you probably got into some. I just came back and listened. We don't want to mute people and shit. So I don't know what was going on. It's funny.
Okay,
I'm on
wait.
a
Can I
phone
explain what was
call.
going on, bro?
Just please, dude, I'm on a call.
Can I
So can't
explain
be
to you what
here.
was going on?
Please respect the
No,
room.
just
One at a
chill.
time. Go ahead. Just please go one at a time.
Okay, so what was happening was I said gravity
He's
wasn't
not
a force.
listening, bro.
I said
No,
gravity
just go.
wasn't a, I said
Just
Oh
gravity
my
wasn't a force.
God.
One
I
trick
said
is to
gravity
tell
wasn't
them
a force.
stories that don't go anywhere.
just
I
do,
said gravity wasn't a
And in
don't do
force.
the
those
meta.
days, Nichols had
Do
pictures
like
of
a 30-second
bumblebees on them.
get
Yeah,
it
so
out of your
I said
system and then
gravity
let
wasn't a
Give me
him
force.
5
respond. Yeah.
B's for a quarter, you'd say.
Tune,
Did
give him
anybody
like 30
listen to
seconds
what
to
Gio
respond and
said?
then you can
No.
go.
Yeah, so I
Now, where were we? Oh, yeah.
It's funny, Noah. I mean, objectively, you thought it was hilarious with Demok, but go ahead. I'll get onto him if he does it again.
All right. So my point from the beginning, and has been the point for years, is that within our reference frame, general relativity expresses itself as a force within our reference frame. Noah quoted something saying that within our reference frame, it acts as a force. Awesome. That's exactly what I've been saying the whole
not what I
time.
quoted.
And the four things that I cited, the four books that I cited, Noah cited himself in the thing that he read. One of the four books
It
that
was
I
a
quoted
hostile
already.
witness.
And there's no such thing as a hostile witness in science. This
I
isn't the court
literally
of
quoted
law.
what you cited so that
Now,
it would
where were
defeat
we?
you.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that it would defeat you.
So I tied
Yo,
an onion
Gio,
to my
can I
belt.
get a moderator?
The important thing was
Can I get a
that I
moderator
had
on
an
this
onion,
guy?
which was the style at the
Because
time.
I'm gonna
One
set the
trick
record
is to
straight.
tell them stories that don't go anywhere.
I don't think we should allow
Yeah,
him to
so
keep doing
he's
this.
funny
And in
muting me.
those days, Nichols.
Respectfully, I am
I'm
muting
being
you.
funny muted.
Hold on, you guys. Before I got on this phone call, you guys, it sounded like you guys were gonna have a good build convo. I was, there's no mods in here, but come on, man. What are you, MC Tune? You just asked him something and then you're playing a soundboard. Come on, man. I mean, do you want to have a real combo or?
He
Can I say my
constantly
statement, bro?
talks
I've been
over me.
trying to
Gio,
say my.
Mute him for a second.
Gio,
Noah,
I'm going to do that as long as he constantly talks over me.
All right, Noah, you can't do that, bro. Do you want to have a real combo? I'm on a
He
phone
does
call and I
not.
need to go back to the call. So, can someone else mod this? Ricksky, are you
I'm
there?
a-
Can somebody like mod this so that it's a good combo, or we should move on to something else? So hold on, let me unmute Noah. Can you guys do this?
Dude,
Or
this is
what?
completely unfair, bro. This is you haven't been listening. It's completely unfair. I haven't been able to make a solid statement yet for the past 10, 15 minutes because I actually beat McToon in a debate and he's just getting salty and funny muting
Quit
me.
crying like a bitch.
He originally
Constantly talking over me. You won't stop talking over me like a little bitch.
Yo,
You
Gio, he's still
constantly
funny
going. You
muting
got
me.
10-minute monologue.
He can't let
You had a
he can't let
10-minute
me he can't
monologue.
let me
You
expose
won't
him.
let me respond.
He can't let me expose him.
This is because you won't let me respond because you know that I will
he's
that
funny
I
muting
was
me. Yo, I'm getting funny
exactly
muted. Yo, I'm
matching.
getting funny muted.
Well, you're the one
Yo,
that were funny
Gio.
muting. You were the one that were constantly talking over
Guys,
me.
you guys
Yo,
stop.
Gio, I
Okay,
tried
can
to
you
make
two
my
have a
statement and
conversation
end.
or not?
Noah
Gio,
is
can I just make my
incapable.
statement? can I just make my statement? Because it was clearly my turn to make a statement. So
Give
what
me
happened
5
was,
B's for a quarter, you'd
look
say.
at this.
Dude,
Look
you
at this.
can't
Now,
keep doing
where were we?
Look at this. Look
Oh,
at this,
yeah.
Gio. Look what's
You
happening.
Oh, I
can't help
tied
but
the
laugh,
lightning to
though.
my belt.
Nicktoon, please stop with the soundboard. Cole,
Can I
just
please say
are
my
you here?
statement while he's on mute? Just can
Somebody
I
needs
just say it?
no. Somebody needs to mute and unmute both of you if you're going to do this, or we need to move on to something else. I don't know if Cole, if someone wants to try to mod this, if Cole
Can I
wants to
just
time
say my
control, he's
statement,
not here.
bro? That's all I want to do. It's been complete like cover of not me being able to say my statement. So in the
All right,
beginning,
can we just
Nicktoon,
reset? Can you guys
can
reset?
I please say my statement? I've been trying to say it for 15 minutes, bro. That's so frustrating and unfair that I can't say my statement after 15 minutes of trying, bro. How is that allowed on your server?
I am
Can I just
asking
say it?
for a
Can I just
reset.
say it now and never? Can I just say my piece?
Go ahead,
Please?
and if Nicktoon can wait and then respond without soundboards and things, then we can carry on. I'm on a phone
Yeah.
call though, so I can't really sit here and mod it. So I'm asking if anyone else in here wants to mod
Well,
it.
I'd be done in 30 seconds, but it takes 15 minutes, bro,
I
because
can
you're
call it
completely
fair,
not
but
understanding the situation. So
Pinky, you
I
want
can
to
please,
call
mod?
it fair.
can I? No,
Icy
Pinky
Spin, you
cannot
want
call
to
it
Cool.
mod?
fair.
Give it
This
to
is.
Pinky,
Can
bro.
I just say
Let
the
Pinky, if he's
statement, bro?
here,
This
let
is
him
this
mod it.
is
I actually
complete
think Pinky would do
gatekeeping.
a better job than I
This
would.
is
Yeah.
complete gatekeeping, bro.
Give it
So
to Pinky.
in the beginning, Nicktoon claimed that gravity was not a force. He cited those four sources or whatever. I then used the sources against him because in those sources, in at least one of those sources, it describes that gravity is not a force on our local reference frame. It just practically appears as a force. So, as a habit of good bookkeeping and mathematics and engineering, we treat it as a force, but in actuality, it's not a force. And then I cited a bunch of mainstream people who say this is not a force. It appears as a force in this reference frame because of practicality, but it's not actually a force in like real existence. McToon then started freaking out. Then later he started saying he was the one claiming it wasn't a force, trying to take my position over and try to gaslight the room, bro. It's fucking ridiculous.
Imagine humans that can't interact. Have you guys ever heard about this? Weird, right?
Apes.
I don't know.
Okay, it
So,
sounds like Noah said
Rixky-
something. MC Toon, did you want to respond with something substantive?
Okay,
Yeah,
you got
he
this.
supported everything I said. Thank you.
No, he's lying because what I read said that gravity was not actually a force and that at the Newtonian limit, which is an approximation of reality, not actually reality, and only works in practicality, but doesn't tell you ontologically what it is. What I read out said that it wasn't actually a force, only appeared to be a force.
Wait. Hold
That
on.
how the fact that it's a force is not actually
I have a question.
ontologically a force.
When you say it's not a force, does that imply that you're like appealing to the modern science? I thought you don't believe in modern science. I'm very confused.
Okay, so two Kokwe. So they don't have an argument back, bro. All they did was funny mute me and act immature, and
So
this
you're
is your
just
guys'
like
leader.
reciting their arguments, and I'm cool with that. Like
Wait,
I'm a
do
guy.
wait? Where do you think gravity's a force or not? Skeptic guy.
I have my own model. I have my own beliefs that I don't want to go into. Yes, I believe it's a force by definition of Newton's laws of motion. If an object accelerates,
So you're Newtonian. You don't believe in Einsteinian worldview.
You can derive Newton from Einstein.
No, personally, I do not believe in Einstein. So NASA show probably does. Probably everybody else does, and that's cool.
Yeah, well, McToon believes
I
in
don't
it, but he
really
doesn't even
care.
understand his own position.
I really
You
don't
And he
understand you can
and the things
derive,
he quotes actually disproves him.
like we said a long time ago, if you're not going a good fraction of the speed of light, if you're not near a very powerful gravity source, or you're not extremely small, you can go use Newtonian physics.
That'd be fun.
Anyways, McToon got wrecked objectively.
He did not.
Had to
You
resort. That was
basically
so
agreed with
unfair.
everything he said. Your sources back him up as long as you're in a reference frame.
Well, here's one thing I don't understand about flat earthers. This is legitimately like, why not just call it a force?
It's a very good reason that they can't accept it as a force, because if it's a
Just call it a
force,
force. It doesn't mean that you're. Sorry.
But mass attracts mass, which will cause a large collection of mass to collapse into a sphere. So flat Earth would collapse into a sphere. That's why it has to be rejected before investigation.
No, that's also not
Here's the
true.
thing.
We can have hold up. We can have a downward force going towards the bottom of a plane. So that's just patently false.
No,
And
you missed the whole
still
point.
don't understand your own paradigm, because in your
attracting
own
mass.
paradigm, stop funny muting me. Because in your own paradigm, gravity is
Rejection.
not a force. Gravity is not a force in your own paradigm. My paradigm, I can have gravity as a force, but the force being The force being something pushing objects to the ground, not towards the center of a ball.
Yeah, the
So
problem
you're
is
done.
Demonstrate that in the
you have
lab.
to start talking about the potato radius at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all cooked. You're all cooked.
Okay.
No, the potato radius
You're
is about
done.
200 to 300
Nicktoon's done,
kilometers.
especially.
So skeptic
He doesn't even know
guy was
relativity.
asking a question. All right, Noah, sit down. Skeptic guy, here's what happens.
Listen, you don't think gravity's
Noah,
you think
Noah,
gravity's
have
a
a
force,
seat.
bro.
Have a
You're
seat, Noah.
cooked.
I'm having
You're
a conversation
cooked, bro.
with
You're
skeptic guy.
cooked.
It's
You're
Noah,
cooked.
shh, quiet. Sit down.
You're cooked.
Sit down, Noah. All right, so skeptic guy, the
You're
reason why they have to pre-reject it is because a large mass will coalesce
straw man.
into a sphere.
Straw man.
There's
Straw man.
no straw man. Noah, stop talking. I'm talking to skeptic guy, not you. All right. So this isn't your spot. This is a conversation between me and him. Okay.
Go have your conversation elsewhere then. It's an open panel.
He wants
Wow.
to.
It's not a one-on-one
right,
for you, bro.
just
The one-on-one was
demock
between
everything.
you and me. The
All
one-on-one was
right.
between
No,
you and
where
me, and
were
you
we?
lost.
Oh yeah.
You're funny
All right,
muting me
all right, hold on,
constantly.
Hold on,
Wait.
please don't start that.
That
up.
was your real
Yeah,
voice,
hey,
by the way.
Hold on. What
Gio,
we
you need
from
to
what I
get your
heard-
boy
He's a-
in.
he's
You need to
objective-
put a
he's
chain on your
objectively
dog there.
It's not my dog. Noah is wild and he creates dumpster fires. It's a problem.
That's his
Noah,
skill. That is his
I put
skill.
you on mute for a second, Noah, because you're I don't know. You're interrupting him the whole time. MC Toon was asking Skeptic Guy a question. Please let them go. We have to have a cohesive stream that people can listen to. And I
Can you
might
give
give
him, like,
Coco a temporary mod role, and she's going to get you guys. So she's going to mod you guys.
Oh, Gio, I want to
if needed.
clarify
Thank
one
you.
thing.
Go ahead. Just go ask Skeptic Guy your question, MC2.
Okay, can I go off
All right.
topic or just a little bit? Gio, that quote that I said about like respecting the flat earthers, I mean that literally. So just letting you know. What do you want to ask?
All right. So, I wasn't really asking. I was just, you had asked a question about gravity
I was
and
asking
mass
the other
attracting
guy.
mass.
No,
Okay.
I didn't really get a chance to ask my question, but I'm just gonna go by Newton's laws of motion. I'm not gonna go by Einstein's relativity or anything like that.
Well, and that's okay, because for regular usage, that's all you need. But the challenge for flat Earth is that if mass does attract mass, which is what's the confirmation empirically, then a large mass like the flat Earth would coalesce into a sphere, and so they have to reject that ahead of time, pre-reject it without even investigating whether or not it's correct. So they have to then say, well, the Earth is flat without gravity, and something else has to cause that downward acceleration. But they've never produced anything that actually, answers the 9.8 meters per second squared approximate downward acceleration.
All right. I really don't. This always leads to like mass attracts mass and Einstein's relativity, but why not just keep it simple and say that there is an acceleration that's causing there is a force that's causing an object to accelerate at 9.8 close to the ground, lower when you go up higher in altitude. Those are like just mere facts. There is an acceleration.
Yeah.
So why not just call it a force and just be done with it? Even if you believe the Earth is flat, it doesn't contradict the model just by calling it a force. That's what I don't understand about flat earthers. They want to dismiss it, that say that it's not force, and then they quote Einstein, but I don't get that. Just say it's a force and just move on. What causes the acceleration, that's a different story. You can move to a debate about that or whatever, but
Yeah, I don't think
But we
not
don't
all
need to go
flat
that far.
earthers quote that, man. Not everybody
I mean,
dislikes
you
force.
guys do what you want, though.
Yeah, I don't know any flat earthers who think it's not a force.
I just heard somebody say that it's not a force, so I don't know what I'm listening to.
He's trying to get into Einstein, and within the application of general relativity doesn't
Okay, so
it work.
so when do I get time to talk, bro?
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so McToon's original statement was that gravity was not a force. It was then shown in his own textbook that gravity is not a force, and that it's only said to be a force as a practicality for doing calculations, but not ontologically actually a force.
I agree.
He then just tried to gaslight the room to say that was his position when it never was.
It always was my position.
Yeah, you're a liar. You're an
I've read
you're a bald-faced
all
liar.
4 of my citations.
You're
In
an
fact,
absolute
You haven't
bald-faced
read
liar.
any.
Yeah, I just did, bro. You're an absolute bald-faced liar.
That
You
is the
said gravity's not a
position
force.
of
For
most
you to now,
people.
so for you to not, sorry, you said gravity was a force. For now, you to claim that to claim that your position is that gravity's not a force, but just practically we can treat it like a force in certain reference frames, was not your original position. You are moving the goalpost. You are a liar. You lost the debate.
Except my original position was not what you stated.
You are a liar. Your exact statement was that
I'll-
gravity was a force.
No, not at all.
Yes, it is. It has literally happened in the live stream.
I'll state it again.
Anyone who wants the truth,
I'll state
can
it
go
again
30
if you let me.
No, don't.
If you not
Don't
talk
state.
over
No,
me.
no,
If you
bro.
want to
No,
constantly talk
it was
over
my
me,
turn.
I'll be
It was my
happy to
turn.
restate my
You're
exact
over talking me.
statement.
You are over
And
talking
why is
me.
it that you won't let me
I'm being
restate
funny
my
muted and over
my
talked
exact
now.
thing?
Yo, Gio.
Again, why is it that you won't let me do
Gonna
that?
start tagging Gio.
Why
Yo,
won't
so
you
his
let me
original-
restate?
yo, for
You say I said something, but
Yo,
I didn't
Gio.
say
She's
that.
running. Hold on.
Gio, where you
Coco's
at?
running the game.
Noah?
Coco's
All right.
running the game.
I'm modding now. Please don't
Yo,
overtalk.
Gio, this is completely unfair. It was completely not his time to talk, and I was
Okay.
gonna be done in 5 seconds.
All right, just
He's
stop
doing this
for
on purpose. He's doing this on purpose, so I can't get.
Stop for a moment, okay? You can't
can't
just
stop.
bulldoze and keep talking. Okay, I'm on a phone call. There doesn't seem to be any other mods here. We want to have a cohesive live stream. I gave Coco a guest mod role. She is going to mod. Yeah, please don't like do excessive muting or anything. Noah, please chill. And if you need
This
to
is
finish,
complete. Can I just make my statement, bro?
go ahead.
Let me just make. I'm gonna make my statement and dip out, bro, because this is the most unfair moderating I've seen on this server in a long time. But
If you just
originally,
say something and then
True.
dip,
Not
this
true.
is the
when he
statement.
starts
This is
talking,
just. Just
dip.
let me say the statement, bro, because I haven't been able to say shit at all.
Hang on. That's
So
not how you have a
earlier. Okay,
conversation.
no wait.
He's just gonna talk and then
If
dip.
anyone wants to,
Who wants to hear him talk?
if
That's
anyone
pointless.
actually, yo,
That's
please be
totally
quiet.
pointless.
Please be quiet. I'm gonna say my piece and I'm gonna leave because this is clearly not fair. If anyone wants to know the truth, they can go back 30 minutes in live stream and they can hear McToon make his original claim that gravity's not a force, and then me correcting him.
Wait.
Sorry, no. Saying that gravity is a force, and then me correcting him and saying, no, that is not a force. It is just appearing as a force on a local scale, and then him disagree with it. Anyone can go back and hear it.
Okay.
But this guy's cooked. This
Okay.
guy's cooked, and this is completely unfair
You've
moderation
told,
since then.
okay,
Thank you.
Noah, you've told us.
Respond to this. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, by the way, just for the record, there was
So
absolutely
glad we started listening
there
to
was
this.
no unfair moderation.
That's cool.
Please, everyone, stop for a sec. I was temporarily muting him because he was nonstop dominating, talking, insulting, and over talking. That was just for the record. That was not unfair at all. The only thing is that if it was that wild, you would have had to have a mod that could like mute and unmute and let each person go back and forth. But he was being uncharitable to the mic time and what's needed to have a back and forth. So, all right, let's carry on. I guess he left. So.
Yeah, if you're sticking to the position.
Oh, did the baby leave? Okay, sorry.
God damn it! I wanted to respond to him. Well, if you're sticking to the position of mainstream science or modern science, yeah, most of them would say that gravity is not a force, or it's not a Einstein's force, or it's not a Newtonian's force, or something along those lines. So
Ontologically.
I read this somewhere in the fucking AI. I'm not. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree with any of those things actually. Ontologically, which is not really the application within our reference frame. But what he didn't want me to restate is that within our reference frame, gravity is a force. So there's a big caveat there, and he leaves that out when he tries to quote me.
It's so weird when there's like a lull in the conversation because Noah's not a part of it. Are you there, Skeptic?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I'm just.
All right, Skeptic
Calculating.
guy. Have we met before?
Yeah, I might have insulted you. I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, I've been insulted by
That's
many.
not specific. Yeah, that's not too specific.
Yeah.
I've been around.
So basically, what it comes down to is a discussion about definitions of what gravity is. I mean, we see the effect, test the effect.
Yeah.
What we call it, if we call it a force or not a force, or an emergent force, or entropy, or whatever, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because we do measure the effect.
Yeah, we do. We measure the acceleration, and we put two weights on a scale, and we define mass. We define mass and weight. Yeah, and they're measurable.
Yeah, and if you go by all the different types of so-called Cavendish experiment, from the traditional one to free neutrons and the Bose-Einstein condensate and so on and so forth, it's quite clear that mass has something to do with it. Denying that, I find a bit strange.
Oh yeah, the Cavendish experience is, they need to observe that. The Cavendish.
I think
It's
what,
a real fact.
yeah, I think the example that, oh shit, what's his geologist name again? Where they show that example of that superconducting gravimeter, where they put a 14-year-old boy at the ceiling above it, and for a specific time, and they actually measured a less downward acceleration for that period of time. That's another good example. That
they used a boy as the test mass.
Yeah, just for fun. My mind's gone completely blank. What's our geologist from Australia again?
PhD Tony?
Tony. Yeah. He showed that example. And they had like a superconducting gravimeter in the room, and they put a 14-year-old boy in the floor above it for a specific time, and they measured a less downward acceleration for that time than he was above it. And as he moved away, it went back to the original one, which shows, yes, mass do have an effect on these things.
Yeah. And if you want to go further, and you don't have to believe this, like as I said, I'm an ether guy, but who gives a fuck? Mass and energy and space-time objects move along the curved geometry. What looks like a force is really just motion along a curved path. This is just from the EI. Or something to do with the warping of space-time, right? Like, mass warps space and objects fall around it or something. Is that about correct? Whatever Einstein's relativity is.
Yeah, it's by the curved space-time and geodesics and all that.
Yeah. So when somebody says it's not a force, they're referring specifically to general relativity. That's what they mean.
Unless they're a flat earther, and then
unless they're
they're not referring to anything.
But I mean, as long as we do understand that mass has an effect on other masses.
Oh yeah.
What we call it doesn't matter, does it? But that would be a problem but if they do agree on that, and if they go like with a flat Earth and gravity is due to mass, well, it would depend on where like if you go by the Gleason map, if you were towards the Antarctica, you would have most of the mass towards the north. So the vector of gravity then would point towards the north, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah. If gravity exists, and if the Earth were flat, then the vector would vary with your latitude dramatically. And when you got to the southern latitudes, you'd be looking at depending on how deep the flat Earth is, you potentially could have a vector that's nearly horizontal.
Yeah.
But they reject gravity, so that no flat earther I know of thinks that would be the case.
That is true. And why do they? What's the motivation behind denying the effects of gravity?
Because if it would collapse a large flat Earth into a sphere because it's larger than the potato radius.
Yeah,
because God made everything, not some fake force.
Well, God could have easily made gravity. I don't see any problems with a all-power deity being able to create gravity.
I posted based on your talk about PhD Tony's thing about the putting a kid above a gravimeter. This one I just posted on the influence of intense thunderstorm activity on high precision gravimetric observations. That one is really interesting because it shows that when there is a intense storm nearby, that the magnitude of gravity is slightly reduced in the vicinity because of the large amount of water and the mass of the water above the gravimeter in the air at the time.
Yeah, I've seen that paper. And another thing is, by using these highly accurate gravimeters, they can even measure the gravitational pull of the moon, and it matches the relative position between the gravimeter and the moon as well.
Yes, and that's in there as well. It has the tidal effects. I'll post the graph. There's the graph. That variation in the graph, that's the tidal effects. So you can see throughout the course of a day there, the essentially like the neap tide and high tide. That's not what you're actually seeing there, but that's the idea that the hump on the left is the tidal effect going up, but not up as much because the sun and moon aren't in alignment. And then the one on the right, the hump on the right, the sun and the moon are in alignment, or essentially.
Yeah, it is funny. And when one go even further, I mean, the tidal force is a good explanation why the moon is slowly moving away from us. I mean, there's so many further details that ties into and match what is expected by gravity, and tidal forces and stuff like that. So it explains a lot of what we observe and measure.
You got anything to say in response to it, or I kind of lost track of where the conversation is headed?
We just kind of rounded it out, I think.
Oh, okay.
And respect Coco.
Yeah, she's got the wand. She's a good moderator.
So our cat is in heat. So our dogs want to play with her all the time, but she doesn't want to. But now that she's in heat, she's like, "Hey, dogs, you want to hang out?"
Shaking her tail feathers.
She's sitting there. She's just sitting there, butt up in the air, like stupid cat. Like, oh, we need to get her fixed. But this is her second time she's gone into heat, so it's time.
Just take care so you don't end with a hybrid between a cat and a dog. Then.
Yeah, somebody tell. Yeah, all right. So Pinky, yeah. See if Noah's probably had a breathing moment or two. Maybe we could commence the finality.
Oh my gosh! No, all he's going to do is repeat himself.
Well, could be good for content regardless. But I think maybe he's getting a lot of negative reinforcement, I would say, I guess, about like, bro, like straighten up, dude. So, and I think like deep down, he probably knows, like, it's not about flat or globe. It's about just having a simple back and forth. It's about kind of being respectful of each other's position and just having a conversation. But he gets so lit and it betrays my understanding.
Got to pump his chest,
Yeah, I'm sure I'm biased with my statement, but people can back me up or they can tell me I'm fucking wrong. I just feel like it was Gio said it really well in a text statement, and I support that fully. Stefan Mudd, what's up, bro? I don't know if Demok, are you still there? Have you gotten as the sedative set in?
Don't. He needs more Xanax.
Quite well, yeah. Zoloft
I don't even know what.
Yeah.
Didn't he say he was going to create a flat Earth model that was accurate and worked?
Yeah, he needs a side view of Earth you got to draw a side view of Earth on, I don't know, maybe he could probably stillman it better than I can. If Harold was here, Harold knows the argument backwards and forwards, I think. Wes has a pretty good idea.
Who's
Arnold?
Arnold.
I call him Harold with an N.
Harold.
Harold with an N. Yeah, and I've asked Demok to clarify on a few times, and then it got lit real quick. But most
clarify. It's so funny. He's so funny. He's just a random word generator.
You know what's funny though is I did look up. So Demok
explanation for him.
Demok did make a positive assertion when I asked him to clarify one time about
he had a slip?
showing. It was odd. I actually made a note of it and I asked Claude, right? I reached out to AI and I said, "Yo, what's this guy talking about?" So he wanted to take a picture of the ISS from an airplane through the roof. I literally tested the prompt. Yeah, you were a part of that. And Red's rhetoric. When he wasn't laughing, he was silent for the most part, but he did add a few comments by the end of his interaction with Demok about how absurd the proposition of taking a picture of the ISS through a commercial air jet. Well, I mean, obviously, it's not going to have a roof, right? Like, you're not. Yeah. I mean, like, bro, it's like a second and a half.
What jets have roofs?
It's got to be a real. Yeah, it's got to be you got to be on a private jet, most likely, and you got to really work on your timing. You got to really know what's going on. So, but it was funny because I asked it, and it's like, in theory, this is possible, and I can like lay it out for you. And I actually sent this to Demok like the day after I researched it, which was the day after he proposed it, and I said, "What do you think about this?" I never got a response. I'm happy to I think reification is the wrong word because I've got
that's not the right word.
Witsit on the brain. I'm happy to restate my my AI position and see if he'd be okay with that and if that's actually what he means. I don't know. Maybe he's listening, maybe he's not. Maybe he's watching Mean Girls 2 for the third time. I don't know what he's doing, but who knows?
Is he a big Mean Girls fan, you think?
I mean,
Yo,
I
real
don't know.
quick, I'm in and out. I'm at work, but I've been listening.
Oh,
And
what's up, Lyle?
plenty of flat earthers accept the effect of gravity. We just don't accept the cause. Obviously, gravitation is a real phenomena, a natural observed phenomena. What we deny is what you guys call the bending and warping of space-time being the cause of it, or mass attracting mass being the cause of it.
So what is the cause of it?
We all know that. Yeah. What is the cause then?
Well, this is the thing. You guys are gonna press us to see what the cause is.
Of course.
I'm not
that's
entirely
normal.
sure what the cause is, right? But I don't have
So
like
why do you
what
know it's
Witzel
not mass
says, right?
attracting mass?
There's plenty of reasons, but hold on, dude. Before we get into all that, can I get in for a second, dude? Can I talk without you pressing me on the witness stand? Is that possible?
Maybe. We'll see.
Because I want to clarify that I do. We all, I mean, if you're rational, we all agree that there's this natural phenomena of things falling to the ground that you guys call gravity. Nobody denies that, right? He's saying that that most of us deny it because it would collapse our model because gravity attracts mass into a ball. No, dude, that's just straight up rhetoric. Originally, even in your own model, right, we have electrostatic forces that cause mass to coalesce, correct?
No.
So what is the primary force before gravity takes over that causes mass to coalesce?
Nothing. There's nothing that causes all mass to coalesce. Electrostatics are opposites attract and similars repel. So you can't just take a clump of mass and then have them coalesce together, because opposites attract. But as soon as you get a bunch of opposites together, you just get a big neutral blob which won't attract anything.
I urge you to reevaluate your own position in your model, because if you guys subscribe to your timelines in the Big Bang, how everything came forth through some type of explosion at the beginning of time that you guys call a singularity, right? Initially, you had electrostatic forces that caused mass to coalesce into an accretion disk, not a sphere, not a ball, not a geoid.
He doesn't understand what an accretion
right?
disk is.
An
That's adorable.
accretion disk.
He's not even pronouncing it right.
That's part of the globe model. Lion, do you not understand that the accretion disk is a globe model proposition?
No fucking shit, dude. I just said, Did you hear what I said?
The cause of it
I don't
is
believe
mass.
in this Big Bang theory. I don't believe in the singularity at the beginning of time, right? Where you have this hole in the fabric of space and time.
How do you think planets were formed?
In the fabric of space and time, this infinitesimal point of infinite
do you think
density
God
and
just
infinite
pointed
mass.
and said, "Let there be Earth"?
I'm asking you if you know your own model.
I'm trying to cut your short.
Dude.
No. Let's cut the shit.
I don't need your rhetoric, dude. Keep track.
You can say yes or
track
no,
of your
and then I'll
own
know where to go.
paradigm, dude.
Wait a second.
So in your own paradigm, initially the primary force was Oh my God.
Question, let him respond.
I wasn't done. I wasn't done.
Yeah, but
There's a combination. I got 5 guys attacking me. I wasn't even done.
Correcting you.
There is a combination between, in nebulas, like formation of new stars and accretion, there is a combination of electrostatics and gravity. It's not just one or the other, it's both.
Oh my God, no fucking shit. Keep track of what I'm saying, guy. Stop playing fucking dumb, right? We don't need you playing stupid. You're stupid enough, right? Hear me out, right? I said the primary force is electrostatics initially. That's what causes matter to coalesce initially.
That's wrong. That's wrong. Nobody claims that.
Then gravity takes over. Gravity is the secondary force, right?
Nobody claims that.
Yes, that's your model. That's your model,
no,
dude.
It's not. That's not.
No, it's not. The model was the uneven distribution of mass, which creates gravity, and a combination of that and electrostatics between the gas in the universe. That's it. It's still the same model for new stars being created in big nebulas out in the space today. That's the globe model.
Okay, again, before gravity takes over, you need a significant amount of mass coalesced, correct?
No, all you need is a bit of uneven density of mass. There's all, and
You
then
guys are
you
you're
already
being
had a
dishonest,
weak.
dude.
Yeah, no. Then you already have an area where gravity is stronger than the rest of the area. I mean, if you want to address this model,
Don't
then
you all
bring in.
five of you are probably right now typing away and asking AI, dude, because you guys are all fucking retards.
I knew this before, and I'm out walking my dog. I don't need any fucking
Yeah, and I'm
AI to
driving a
tell you
semi,
this.
bro. I don't need any of this shit. I already know your fucking model. You guys think we came
Yeah,
out of a
well,
fucking black hole at the beginning of time, known as a singularity?
no, not necessarily. If you keep track, there might not have been a singularity.
The point is that initially you had accretion disks, not fucking spheres, guy.
Can you
Not a
give us
ball.
some? Can you give us some
This is
sort
such a
of
sad
citation or
argument.
source for this claim?
No, wait, we're good with accretion disks. There's no problem with that.
What
Okay,
about the electrostatic?
so how do they form?
Mass.
That's the right answer.
Give us the process. Give us the process.
An inconsistent distribution of mass.
Come on, guy. Now you
that
see.
makes
This is what
perfect
I don't. This is why I get irate, because you guys play stupid, dude.
Does
makes
anybody disagree with me?
Okay,
Lion,
do you remember?
Lion,
You remember your
Lion,
argument?
don't-
Originally, you were
don't interrupt.
saying that.
Lion,
we
stop
believe.
interrupting. Lion, stop
Okay.
interrupting. Let's
You
see
stop.
if any of the other people here agree with what I said. The inconsistent distribution of mass.
Perfect sense to me.
Yeah, we need to, dude. You're
Not
just
you, Lion.
Okay.
Not you. Somebody else. Anybody else?
Yes, as I said, there is a slight effect from electrostatics due to the charged particles in these nebula gas clouds. But the main thing is, as you said, McToon, the uneven distribution of mass.
All right. Well, hold on, dude. Wait. Because originally you were saying that because of gravity, if we don't support the idea that gravity is a force, it would collapse our model, right? I mean, if we do support it, you were saying that things coalesce into a sphere. But now,
yes,
you're actually retracting your statement. You're backpedaling. You're saying no. It can actually what? It can
collapse
coalesce
into a
what?
sphere.
No,
A
it
sphere.
can coalesce into what? No,
a sphere.
An accretion disk.
Yeah, the accretion disk.
Yeah. Well, that's funny because hang on, Lion. You know that, especially by the large radio telescopes, like the broken Arecibo and the Chinese huge one, they do they're taking images of accretion disks where they now see how planets seems to form in those accretion disks.
Against my better judgment, I just wanted to interrupt real quick. I would say, Lion, do not attack this argument without having researched accretion disks. That's all I'm going to say. Do as you will.
I love your hand.
You have nothing, dude. I
love the grace you gave him there.
I love it, dude. I love it. Nothing. You got nothing. Just rhetoric. The point is, right? It's not exclusive. You think that gravity is exclusive to a globe. No, it's not. Never been. You can have downward acceleration on a planar surface. I don't know why you would say that flat earthers are afraid to call it a force. I've never been afraid to call it a force. I consistently call it a force. We know it's a force.
What's causing that force?
That's yet to be determined.
Oh,
so yeah.
What do you mean?
Funny that how gravity, as we call it, has been tested in so many different ways and seems to be the cause. And you got nothing.
Gravity is the effect, dumb fuck. What is the cause? It's yet
That's
to be determined.
The mass. If you have, like you do a modern Cavendish experiment, you measure how mass affects other masses.
So what causes mass to attract mass? Mass? Is that your answer? That's begging the question.
No, it's not.
No,
it's
mass
like saying what causes the wind to blow.
Yeah, what causes the wind to blow? The wind?
It's a
you
phenomenon.
fucking idiot.
No, it's a phenomenon.
What causes mass to attract mass? Mass?
It is a property of the mass.
That's the cause?
It's a property
That's a description
of the mass. It is a property.
So this is the thing, right? We know that gravity is a force. Why? Because we have kinetic forces multiplied, right? So when things fall to the ground, right? When they hit the ground with kinetic impact. And that impact can be multiplied depending on the height that you drop the object from.
Okay.
Yes, because of the acceleration of mass increases the kinetic energy of the mass. The faster it moves. That's no surprise.
Yeah, I know that. So we know observably that things when they hit the ground from higher elevations, they hit the ground with greater kinetic energy, kinetic force. So therefore, there's a force behind the object that's pressing down on the object when it hits the Earth at accelerated rates. Now people
So
will claim, well,
the
there's no
same
actual
Lion.
force there because accelerometers don't pick up any G's. So therefore,
Why?
there's no force. Even they have to deny observations of thing hitting the ground with increased impact and say that there's no force. So
Lion, do
where's
you
that energy
agree?
coming from?
Yeah. Do you agree that acceleration requires a force, a continuous force?
Yes, that's my point, dude.
And what's causing objects to accelerate downward?
It's yet to be determined. The exact cause of gravity is yet to
So,
be determined.
okay, so no Cavendish experiments, even by single neutrons.
No, bro.
Give us
Listen,
any. Hang on, hang on. Let me
all right,
finish. None
all
of
right.
these measurements and experiments done thousands of times give us no idea what's causing this phenomenon.
Listen, dude. Even if I granted you, right, that the Cavendish experiment, you observed masses moving towards each other. That's a little golf clap, dude. So what? You got masses moving towards each other. What is the cause of that?
It doesn't really matter in that respect. We know that if in the Cavendish experiment, the higher, let's say, the higher the mass, the heavier the mass used, the stronger this attraction is.
Even if I granted you that, right? Even if I told you, okay, that's actually happening, right? And the smaller mass is moving towards the bigger mass. What is causing that mechanistically? What is causing that? Einstein says it's the bending and warping of space-time is the cause. The curvature of space-time is causing masses to move towards each other.
And
that's one possibility. What's the other? What else? Would you have any other possibilities? Or you think that's the only explanation? Because if you think that's the only explanation, then you're affirming the consequent.
That's not a line. That's not my point. My point is what happens if it's curve or space time or whatever. There is clearly an effect that we measure by having mass, like in the Cavendish experiments.
Why, dude? Are you not listening to what I'm saying? Listen, I'm not denying the effect of gravity, bro. We see things fall to the ground. We're not. Listen, flat earthers don't deny the effect of gravity, gravitation, gravitas, bro. We're not denying that. Obviously, things fall to the ground.
Yeah, okay, but you got no explanation for it.
No, we do have other explanations for it.
What is it?
RDD.
What are your
You already
explanations
know,
for?
dude. What
RDD, right?
I already started off with electrostatics, didn't I?
No, but yeah, but electrostatics does not describe electrostatics does not describe the phenomenon that you were just talking about. You were talking about why things fall to the ground, and that is not described, that is not accounted for, and that is not in any way related to electrostatics.
But look, let me interfere real quick. Lion, you agree that the ISS is real, like Noah, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. How does RDD or electrostatics account for the perceivable orbit of the ISS?
Oh, dude, I'm filling out paperwork. So with the ISS, with satellites,
and if you haven't thought about it, that's
orbit,
okay, that's fine. But
it doesn't require mass attracted mass, and it doesn't require this bending and warping of space time to have things in a circuit moving around on the top of the Kármán line, dude. There's various forces at play. We know that there's the Van Allen belts up there. There's tons of electrical activity, electromagnetic activity. We have patents. We have whistleblowers talking about electrostatic propulsion, electrodynamic thrust.
Can I make a proposal real quick?
Go ahead.
There's a website that will tell you when there's an ISS transit above you, and it uses the geodesic. It uses the globe model to predict that, right? And it's accurate. In fact, I don't know of a case that it's ever been reported that this doesn't work. And it would be interesting. Well, you can say that, but it would be interesting to find one case of it not working. Is my point. That's all I wanted to lay out.
That's not an argument. You're simply appealing to pragmatism, dude. So it's because your concept has utility, right? Doesn't mean that that's reality. You understand that?
Lion, can I ask you, do you think we could measure electrostatics?
Dude, honestly, I just got to my stop, dude. I'll be right back. Give me like 5-10 minutes. I got to make a delivery.
It's a simple yes or no question.
I'm in and out, dude.
can we measure electrostatics?
Yes.
Okay, so does that tie into what we observe?
What specifically?
If we measure
I gotta go.
electrostatics, well, I could have a thunderstorm some distance away from me, which has a different charge in the atmosphere than I do. Then I should move sideways, shouldn't I? If everything was due to electrostatics.
No, because if you recently they've been reevaluating the quantum scale, and they're actually introducing real dynamic forces. You can unify both cosmic and quantum scales if you just go back to the drawing board and understand that all this has to do with electrostatics, bro. Electrodynamic field theory.
Yeah, except it doesn't.
So when it comes to the Euler forces, right? The intermolecular forces, the nuclear forces, that's
Those
all
are not
electric by nature.
electrostatic.
Yes, it is. It's all electrical by nature. That's what's
Correct.
holding
Yeah,
and
but hang on a
sustaining
minute.
all
Are
of
you?
reality.
You are below electrostatic.
What sustains the density of elements is electrostatic in
Incorrect.
nature. It's all electrical in
When you
nature.
talk about
It's not gravity. Gravity's not what's sustaining the nuclear force.
when you're talking
Gravity's
about
not
them
what's
strong and
sustaining
weak
the
forces, which
intermolecular
are
forces.
there are
Gravity is not what's sustaining the Euler forces. It's all electrical in
four
nature.
forces.
Ryan,
There are four
when you
forces
talk about
involved in this. You're talking about two of them. The other ones are the strong and weak forces. We're below electrostatics at this point.
Oh, dude,
yeah,
I'm
that
not
was
just.
that
The
was
thing is,
going
when
to
you
be
think of
my question as
electrostatics,
well.
when you think of hold on, dude.
Lion,
When you
hang
think,
on a
hold on, I
minute,
gotta go,
hang
dude. I'm
on.
answering NASA shield, dude.
Yeah, but I was
My gosh,
just
dude.
going to ask the same question. When
I'm
you
out,
talk
dude.
about
I'm done, dude. I
electrostatic,
can't. I'm out.
You're
are
below
you
the
talking
level.
about the
You're
strong
below
and
the
the weak
level of
I'm out,
force?
dude.
electrons.
I gotta go.
You're below the level of electrons. You're below the level. Strong and weak forces are not electrostatic. They're similar to electrostatic, but they are not. The strong force actually keeps together positive things. We don't know why, but it does.
Okay, he had to go do his delivery, so please, anyone else speak.
This is the problem when people have a little bit of knowledge and don't understand that they're just totally wrong.
Yes, but if he yells louder, he's gonna win.
That's correct. That's his philosophy. Hard goon.
He's really dedicated, that's for sure. But I totally agree. Just cherry pick one piece of the whole does not conform to your claims. Like you said, the weak and strong force inside in the nucleus and so on, and then you have what we normally talk about electrostatics, is the different charge between surfaces.
This is Ken Wheeler.
Oh God, yeah, that guy. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this is Ken Wheeler / Whitsitt. That everything's electrostatic, and gravity is electrostatic too.
And what kind of electrostatic are they talking about? As you mentioned, strong and weak force, or is it the electrostatic between surfaces?
Well, the interesting part is that they talk about electrostatics and things that are generally not charged. Like
different charges should go different. I mean, does it have to be negative charged or positively charged,
right,
accelerating
gravity.
downwards?
I told Whitsitt this a long time ago. If you have a very simple test for this, you go to the for tradition, we'll go to the Leaning Tower Pizza. We'll have a positively charged item, a negatively charged item, and let's see, positively, neutral, and negatively charged items. We'll drop all three at the same time. If gravity is electrostatic, one of them, depending on which,
Bro, what's its
positive or the
160
negative should
IQ,
fall fast.
NASA? You're forgetting that.
Yeah. But it should, one of them, the positively or the negatively charged one, should fall faster than the other, and the neutrally charged item should fall in between the two. But we don't see that. All three items will hit the ground at the same time.
And another thing they used to mention was the electrical charge of the atmosphere. There's another problem for them, as it can change from 60 to 600 volts during the year.
And,
so then we should have.
They talk about the voltage, but they forget that there's no amperage. It's like the Van de Graaff generator. A Van de Graaff generator has a ton of voltage, but it's no amperage.
That is true. Again, pick up one tiny piece of the whole and claim that's causing it.
What's the argument right now? I might have missed it.
I have no idea. We're
lulling? Is it like a lull?
This is we're in because Noah left to go put out his dumpster.
The dumpster's it's smoking now. Noah left.
Go away.
I think Tunes. I think he's playing the violin right now. He does that usually on Monday nights.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
Time. Yep.
It's 3 a.m.
Tiny
here on the
violin.
East Coast. I should be asleep.
Yeah, he's got an hour on me, so I don't know. I mean, I thought Denmark was going to flip some tables, but if
it's only 2 in the morning in Yeah, it's only 2 a.m. in Minnesota.
Yep,
Mhm.
it
And
is.
it's
Where are you
9
at,
o'clock
Shill?
in the morning for me.
I'm on the East Coast, in North
Oh, you're with
Carolina.
me then. Yeah.
I should be asleep.
You know what's weird
You
is like
should.
what is it tomorrow? We have very similar sunrises. And it's the only reason I say it's weird, like bear with me for a second, is because it comes up from below. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and to the south generally too, which is interesting.
And but even what's weirder is I thought about this like actually earlier today for the first time. It actually goes down at a specific time too every day. And I it never dawned on me. And so
Dawned on you, the boom ching. Sorry.
right, dawned, right, of course. I just I don't know if maybe you could help me further my understanding about how that works. But you're a glober though, so you're just going to tell me what you've been told to tell me, right? So
Well, you
like,
can observe it.
well,
Well,
listen,
go to
bro.
timeanddate.com. They'll tell
I
you
don't
where it
want to
is.
hear your garbage. I wish Noah was here. Geo's on
Go to
mute.
Go to
Democ's free.
timeanddate.com.
Whatever, bro. Like
Democ
that's created by the
passed out.
globe. Yeah.
What's the other
He
one?
fell
Sun
asleep.
Search. There's another site. Sun Search.
Sun's shirt, Mun's shirts is what I say. Maybe Finky could give me a
Search.
further understanding. He plays the middle pretty well. Ricksky, like,
Search
dude,
is-
that's a far left glober right there. He does not play. Ricksky postures himself. I know he is. I'm obviously just cosplaying. But yeah, whatever. It's just weird that it goes down every day. It blows my mind because I've been told that it goes away from me like
Yeah.
often, like almost hourly. I would say like tri-hourly just to be safe, but tri-hourly I'm told that it just goes out of my view. And I've done the math. Well, excuse me. I've done the math with a hard double F and it was inconclusive. And so I don't know what to believe, bro. I'm a twig hanging on a tree, you know what I mean? Hashtag FE
Twig on a
life,
tree.
bruh. There you go.
The cool part is that although there's a bad explanation for it on the flat Earth for the northern hemisphere, you go to the southern hemisphere and it gets even stranger because
Oh
you're
god, I can't
below.
imagine living where Ricksky. I
Say
can't
you're-
imagine living in New Zealand with Ricksky and actually having this dichotomy of wow, the sun rises, but it also sets, but also I'm in the southern hemisphere and I believe it's flat. Like, good lord, can you imagine the amount of pressure on him every day? Weird.
There's quite a few. Yeah, southern hemisphere flat earthers are special, as they say down here in the
That's
south.
amazing. Yeah.
So you're in
It's
Sydney.
quite a
Yeah,
lot.
but those perceptions you're saying are really just more on like an AE kind of north-centered map. We're just gonna post this real quick in the chat. This shows the dual path nature of the sun. I know it's got the little text on it somebody added about a dual pole path of the sun or whatever, or dual path of the sun. But it's got like 42 degrees and then 60 degrees, June, March, December. And it just shows the rising and setting.
Is this new perspective?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, the guy who made this Earth is a plane at Earth is
Oh,
a
I see.
plane. That's who made the graphic. But that guy just added the text to it. The actual path of the sun is looks like it's from sunearthtools.com. So it's just basically
that's all derived from globe geometry, though. That's where it came from. So that's not helpful. That's
no, because these
first,
existed.
first law in effect.
This existed before the globe theory was even thought up.
Do the sun get closer to me? Does it move further north now?
The astronomical
Springtime?
charts of the path of the sun.
Because the day where I live now, the length of the day increases by 7-8 minutes per day. So I suppose on that dual pole model, the sun must be moving closer to me then.
I would challenge everyone literally here. How many people we got? Geo, 30, 20, 26, somewhere in there. Challenge everyone to just track tomorrow's, I don't know, wherever you're at, sunrise or sunset and or sunrise/sunset on timeanddate.com. Tell us if it's wrong, bro. Just come back in here and be like, bro, the globe said it was going to be this, but it was that. You know what I mean? Like, why can't we get to the bottom of this?
Well, it's not really the globe doing that. So in like planetarium software or on Stellarium, which is planetarium software, you have like an azimuthal grid, like a 360 degree azimuthal foundation. And then all the stars at any position, latitude, longitude, will map to that azimuthal grid. Now, Walter Bislin took that data, he put it on the AE map in his model thing, but he took the Stellarium positioning, essentially the planetarium positions, and put them on that little hemisphere dome, and then he put it on that little AE map graphic. But even if you like disregard the AE map, just having that on a plane, so what that means is that all of the stars, I mean, the nature of what the sky is a whole nother component, but the positions of them map to a bunch of azimuthal grids, which are planar, meaning, you know, you could add 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, hundreds of them, hundreds of them. And that's why on the Walter Bislin thing, you can move it around because it's all coplanar. The azimuthal grids on, you know, at the floor, at the base of it, of the hemisphere kind of thing, are all coplanar.
What does
So
coplanar mean?
all of those azimuthal grids are all planar. And therefore, if you add them all up together, you know, me where I'm at, you where you're at, you know, everybody where they're at right now, we would all have an azimuthal grid and we would have a map of the sky. If we added all of our azimuthal grids together, you would have many, many planar azimuthal grids.
So
all I'm
multiplanar.
saying,
You forget the part
all I'm
you
saying
left
here
out.
is that all I'm saying here is that the stars fit on planar foundations. Now we could get into more like how, you know, how
But
is
it's
it
a
oriented?
local
There's a lot
plane,
of
Gio.
additional fact. I'll pass the mic.
But I would challenge you in that what you said, basically you asserted something that I agree with, in that it is a local plane. And I mean, we can draw the line at whatever, you know, mileage or kilometers, but the fact is that, yeah, over the course of several, let's just call it 100 miles, it's essentially like it's flat. And in fact, the globe asserts this, and Flat Earth quite often will use this as a straw man, or they will misunderstand what this means, or they'll stretch it, right? To say that, like, oh, this means that it's entirely flat, or we use the 8 inches per mile squared, and they just will choose to misunderstand it. Maybe sometimes choosing, maybe sometimes misunderstanding. But the point is I think that, sure, you can say coplanar or multiplanar, and I don't think that you're going to get a challenge on our side based on just geometry in a local area. Because quite honestly, yeah, obviously using your eyes, you're not going to be able to measure a curve from any perceivable distance unless you're at elevation, right? Like the altitude is a big key component to how we can detect what is curved and what is not curved. So I don't know if that helped or made a difference, but that's my response, I guess.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, the curvature amount on the globe is, you know, minimal within local distances. Obviously, if you're talking about 8 inches per mile, it's pretty minimal, you know, so I hear you on that. I mean, technically the way the globe describes it is these azimuthal grids I was talking about, you know, just like, you know, a planar azimuthal grid and then a hemispherical dome, basically like a planetarium. The globe model takes those azimuthal grid positions with the sky and essentially places them around a sphere, meaning that if you were in the center of the planetarium, one way to do it is all coplanar. Like all the planetariums would be all coplanar. The azimuthal, you know, the floor of it would all be coplanar. But what the globe does is says, well, actually we're on a sphere, and so as we're changing latitude and longitude, we're actually, you know, our orientation is changing to relate to the center of the sphere. So, you know, somebody who's in, you know, on the equator, their azimuthal grid is like, you know, coming off kind of, you know, on the side of the ball. If you were looking at the globe, like with the north side up, you know, it's kind of pointing out that way. Someone at 45 degrees, theirs is kind of angling 45. Some of the North Pole is angling directly up. So basically all those azimuthal grids get placed onto a spherical coordinate system in that description. However, like in the azimuthal grid part, they're not really incorporating curvature. It's from a point, as if you were in the middle of the planetarium from that one point, and then you can orient that, you know, towards the center of a sphere, you know, on different local regions, you know. So that's kind of what's in contention. Like, do all those azimuthal grids all actually fit on a planar Earth, or are they actually oriented around a globe? And before the globe model, they use these star charts with these azimuthal grids before the globe, you know, so it works on planar and always has.
Stefan, hold on. Let me give a quick response. My simple response is, Gio, we have a model that has predictive power, and you don't have a model. That is the major difference. And I'm saying this with all due respect. We have a model that has predictive power. We can, for example, when I started this conversation, I said, we can, God, what did I say? We can, it wasn't about the stars, but it was
sunrise and sunsets.
Sunrise and sunsets, right? On any latitude. I challenged everyone in chat, and to tell us when it's wrong based on globe geometry, right? That is called predictive power. And what I would assert to you, Gio, and I'll leave the mic for Stefan or let you respond, Gio. I don't have anything to respond after, but the only thing I would say is that is what a model is it shows predictive power, it's repeatable, it's truthful. If it's not, it's replaced by something that's got predictive power, right? And that's the enterprise of science. But the fact is that that is what the globe does. And what I would say is that it's utterly I'm not going to use any ad homs, but I would say it's unacceptable in a position of an alternative model that actually doesn't assert a model or can't have an agreeable model among peers, right? And that's why the globe model succeeds in this example, in my opinion. But I'm done. Thank you.
I was just wondering, he was talking like a dome or above every observer. What's the height of this dome? What's the distance from the surface to the top of the dome in this model?
No, I was just referring to the geometric structure. I wasn't referring to any like physical dome. I think you might have misunderstood what I was saying. I mean, if you're on a, oh my.
Let me try to explain it. You were talking like a planetarium kind of thing, which is put on the dome of some sort. This is the same system, this azimuthal grid system.
Okay, well, we could get into that, but can I just respond to IC Spin real quick? So I just want to respond to what he had said. So I hear what you're saying. Now the thing is, I mean, okay, there's a lot that I could respond with. I'll just be brief though. So just to respond at least briefly, there are a lot of planar Earth models. So I wouldn't say there's none, and so on. But it would cost a lot of money to make a model, a real one, like a full deal one, a lot of money. And obviously the Globe folks, many of us would think that they have already put a ton of money and effort into it. So they've put together a model that from your perspective, you feel works, but I would say there's limited amount as civilians as to how we can really check that model. We're given it GPS, quote unquote, works, distances work to your understanding or to most people's, to a degree. Plane flights fly.
Two things that I mentioned earlier, where we're not moving at a significant velocity in relation to the other thing.
Has already been put together. It's like we came into this world and it was already there. So whatever men or entities before us put that all together and presented it to us. And I mean, you and I are limited. I mean, we live in our city. Maybe we've traveled a few places, but obviously you and I have not gone out and actually, validated the model. Basically, a lot of the globe model would be taken on, for granted to a degree. And I know there are some ways to test it and so on too. But so I hear you on that. But the question is not, to me, it's not really like me versus you, like, oh, do I have it, like me versus you, who wins? We could do that and like intellectually sparring or debating. But to me, the discussion is also like, what is the truth? What is the actual truth and getting to that truth. And so whether one person's right or wrong or has the right model or not, it's like just what is the actual truth. And so I think there's a lot of things that are interchangeable between planar and globe, but then there's also things that are different. So there's certainly a lot more work to be done, like on, in a lot of ways. So I do hear you on that too. And yeah, I mean, the globe model does work to a certain degree, but it's kind of getting to the nitty gritty, trying to get to where there would be a deciding factor between the two, and like I said, when it comes to the stars and the kind of the hemispherical grids I was referring to and so on, like there is a lot of interchangeability, between, and I mean, the planar Earth models were already mapped with the stars before, and then the globe came and, et cetera. So that was what I was saying originally, but.
I mean, what about like, I don't know, the angle of sunrise in the southern hemisphere? Like it's, common for sunrise to be south of a person in the southern hemisphere. How could that be possible?
And setting
on any shape other than
and it's setting from right to left in the southern hemisphere and from the left to the right in the northern hemisphere,
as it should.
That's yeah. I mean, but I guess like if the sun normal. For me in Sydney
that I mentioned earlier, where we're
in
not
summer
moving at
is
a significant velocity in relation to the other things around us.
We know the sun,
and we're not in proximity of an incredibly large source of mass.
How can the sun?
Yeah, I think you're incorrect about that, dude. About gravity being a force.
Precludes the possibility.
Within a reference frame, it is, and I have a citation
above the tropics.
Yeah, so I'll real quick I'll respond to what Stefan said before, because like just real quick, and then I'll respond to what you said. I'll just try to be brief. So when Stefan was saying like the dome kind of thing, or what is the nature of that, I hear you, Stefan. That is an entire discussion that could be had. Like because I'm not referring necessarily to like some kind of physical structure that follows you around. So yeah, what is the nature of this hemispherical sky? How does, et cetera. So that's a whole conversation. I was just using that wording, or like the hemisphere, or like the word dome, just to describe, a 180-degree region above your head, basically above the ground, all around you. So, but we could get into all of that if we wanted. But in terms of the sun that you mentioned, I understand the issue. This has always been an issue with the AE Gleason's map. This has always been the sun rising south of east in the southern summer and setting south of west, and also the stars moving straight on the equator during the equinox, and at the equator in general, the stars, and also when the sun's there. So these have been issues and incompatibilities with that Gleason's AE map, for years, and even way before TFE or any of this other stuff recently that has been discussed and brought up. And I never had any, like, at times when I've considered the Gleason's or AE map, I never committed to that because I haven't mapped the whole Earth and I wouldn't do that. I would commit to it in that way, but I've considered it, of course, and looked at it, and that was always an incompatibility. And there's never been an answer for it, essentially, on the AE map for this. So, okay, I'm posting this image real quick, if you can see in the chat. This is one pattern that would account for at least the sun rising question you're asking about, of this south, rising south of east and setting south of west in the southern summer. Now, this is just an electric field grid here. And I actually I threw, little suns, and I put 24-hour sun in Antarctica, 24-hour sun in the Arctic, and I put stars at the equator, and I put the little arrows. So now this would be the position of the sun like 6 months apart. So for 6 months, it would be on the right side and circling the North Pole. And then for the other 6 months, it would be circling the left side. So it's not two suns at the same time. It's just showing the kind of the grid. But if the sun is in the south, and again, I have better graphics and things that can show this more, but this is an electric field circuit. It is, this is actually a stereographic projection of spherical coordinates, is what this actually is as well. And what I mean by that is this image I'm posting here real quick, just to follow up with that. This is a sphere in the middle. It's an azimuthal grid of the southern part of that sphere on the base, on the floor there. And then the vertical is what I'm referring to as a stereographic projection of spherical coordinates. So if you take that sphere and you move it sideways onto a flat plane, that's how it's going to, on that vertical wall, that's how it's going to map out, where you have the straight line at the equator and then the two sort of northern southern rotations. So I'm not trying to assert this as like absolutely what is. I guess I'm just responding in the way where you were saying, on a planar Earth, how could the sun do that? And in the first image I posted, if you could imagine like Antarctica, Australia would be, on the left side, it says stars at the equator. So obviously on the left side, like let's say that's the southern, and then that sun would be coming from the southeast and going to the southwest, meaning it arcs the other way in the south. It arcs and anti-arcs, like the Arctic and Antarctic. So like it arcs one way in one, and then in the other. And I realize a sphere would do that as well, and I would concede that the sphere model to a degree. But again, if we live on a plane that is actually the stereographic projection of spherical coordinates onto a plane, so it's like the celestial sphere is above us, as we would call it, but it is above a planar Earth, and then whatever that celestial sphere is, however it is, it would be then those coordinates are kind of coming down onto the plane. And so it could be the stereographic projection of a sphere onto a plane with the two rotations and straight line at the equator. And I know there's many more questions that come up with even that being proposed, but I'm just saying it does address that southeast and southwest sunset in the south.
But why start with a sphere and then make a projection of it onto a flat surface?
I'm also unclear as to how that addresses.
It may be what creation is, and why it was created that way. That's a deeper mystery.
It may.
That's the question.
No, hang on.
Let's go back a step. The picture you've drawn here, though, I understand that that's what we observe for the sun in its transits, but that doesn't correlate with the Earth unless we have a sphere and we just cut it in half and flatten it out. Because,
well, that grid is an electric field, and an electric field is spherical, it's toroidal, but that's like a cross section of the electric field, because obviously an electric field is not necessarily planar. I mean, it's a 360-degree field, that surrounds the wire and so on. So you can measure the field in all XYZ axis. But so I mean that's like a cross section of that pattern. Sort of like if you take like an apple and you slice it in half, you're getting like a cross section. So
which is fine, but that doesn't address the problem of that not being a. I mean, that's essentially just a globe then.
Well, here's the thing. What is the nature of this realm?
Cross section of the globe.
Well, so I'll just say this briefly. So if you have like different categories, sphere, planar, etc., these different categories of geometries, what is the truth of what this realm is? Meaning, are we on the outside of a sphere within a massive field of stars that essentially acts as a larger sphere around the spherical globe? That would be the mainstream model. Or are we on a planar surface in which there's a spherical nature to this realm? There's something called a planisphere. So it's got the word plane and sphere, planisphere. And this has to do with how planes and spheres map, coordinate-wise and so on. Planispheres are used as the name for like these star charts, which are like a flat disk and it shows the positioning. You can get a planisphere for like 42 degrees north or 42 degrees south, etc. But also the word planisphere is not only used for star charts, it also has a meaning in geometry in terms of a sphere and a plane and so on. So if the truth of the nature is that we are actually on a plane, in my mind, there would still be spherical natures to this realm. I think the ether functions in a spherical nature. That's why the Foucault's pendulum and the weight change with latitude and all of that fits the spherical geometry. Again, I don't think it's because we're on a sphere, but I think the ether and the actual medium has spherical natures, even toroidal. There's even the idea, like a lot of the ancients, they have us on a planar surface, and then there's a sphere around us, like the extents of the realm are a sphere. So you have like the flat plane, and then the sort of, hemispherical dome on top or whatever of some sort, and then you would have the underworld, like a hemispherical dome on the bottom, and the whole thing would be a sphere, but we would be on the plane in the center of a sphere rather than on the outside of a sphere. And then we get into the sky and how the sky has spherical coordinates, which I agree. So it's to me, it's kind of about like placing these geometries, in the right places. And I'm not trying to say this to like convince you or change your mind. I'm just saying, like, in terms of what is the truth, and is there something to the Earth being planar, and then how does the spherical components fit into it? Because I even think the 3959 radius fits into the way the sky works, and so on. So
how does that 30 radius work on the sky?
I still don't understand. I mean, I understand you've said a lot of things, but what we are seeing doesn't match with the explanations that you're giving. And the question that I have is, why would we ignore what we're seeing and believe an explanation that doesn't match what our eyes and what our senses and what our instruments and what everything we have records? It doesn't make sense. There's no reason to believe in all these additional things that are not measured or observed or tested or anything, even if they may work. And you could say, oh, we're in a upside down ice cream cone that's shaped like a Pokemon. Doesn't matter, because why would you believe that when there is no evidence that we have, no measurements, no observations that say that is the exclusive or most obvious or any explanation we have? I don't see how that is in any way convincing of anything.
Okay, well, I mean, to respond, hold on. What you claimed, what you said there, though, to me, it was a bit generalized. It was a little bit vague. You were just making general statements and trying to say there's no evidence. I'm not agreeing to those things, that all the evidence fits globe and that there's no evidence for planar. So you were just saying those things, and I'm not trying to like snap back, but I mean, I know you're not really strawmanning me, but you made a lot of claims there that I don't necessarily agree with, and I know you're making generalizations. I would want to ask, like, if we're going to go that route, like, okay, which ones are you referring to, and so on, to get into that, if you want to go that route or not.
The question is, we've got things like Foucault's pendulum, which we can observe and we can test and we can see how it works.
Trevor, let me hone in on something you said.
I've never seen.
Just
sorry, 1 second. As far as I'm aware,
right.
in Foucault's pendulum, I have never seen any evidence of any measurement or observation or anything that indicates that that's caused by the ether. So my question is, why would you adopt the belief that that's caused by the ether, which is something that you mentioned, when we have another explanation that we can measure?
We did like 2 hours earlier on Foucault's pendulum. Actually, we did a whole.
Yeah.
We don't like discuss it all the time, but yeah, sometimes it comes up. We had a big deep session earlier today. Is that what we want to go into? Is that where we want to go?
Something, anything, a reference, any way that I can measure, because that's you also raised this as a point that everyday citizens can't test a lot of the globe things.
Bro, what are you measuring with Foucault's pendulum?
What are you measuring?
Oh,
Wait. Rick,
guys,
let me hone in on something.
We can go to full calls, but let's pause for a second. Let's give Stefan had asked something. John was trying to get in. Let's let John go, Stefan, and then we can go to full calls. That's all good.
I was trying to talk
Yeah,
too.
just
All right,
quickly.
skeptic guys on the list too. So go ahead, John. Let's just let a few people jump in. Go ahead, John.
I'll go last.
All right, also, I won't take long, Gio. So, Fever, in part of what you said a second ago, bro, you said, why should we believe this when all of our senses and tell us blah 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 blah. My question to you, man, is what of your senses makes you think that you're on a spinning, spiraling, hurling, whirling globe, antipodal or upside down compared to where Geo is? What of your senses tells you any of that?
The idea of a globe is supported very well.
No, your senses. You said senses. I'm using your words.
Our senses, and I wasn't referring
our senses. Okay.
No, I wasn't referring to human senses. I was referring to senses, as in a sensitive instrument or something you can observe.
Okay.
Sensor.
A sensor. Gotcha. Okay. Because I would just come back and say none of your senses would reinforce that worldview. Not one of them would reinforce that worldview.
Our sight does.
Okay, man.
Our sight does.
No, it doesn't. How does it?
I mean, if you
are you spinning all the time, bro?
Well, yes, actually, but the sunrise angle during summer, that is a sense, our eyesight, and that is perfectly matches the globe model, and perfectly disagrees with any flat model.
All you're seeing is you're seeing a sun doing a thing. So you have to use the maths.
Straw man. If ever
it's
I've seen
maths.
one, a sun doing a thing. That's right. It is a sun doing a thing, and that thing is rising in a place where it cannot possibly be on a flat map.
Why not?
Well, because the sun is. If you're, I don't know where you're from. It sounds like you're from the East Coast, but if you're from, say, Melbourne or Sydney, in the middle of summer, the sun will raise.
Central.
Okay, whatever. Close enough. If the sun will still rise. South of your location, substantially south.
Yep.
It'll be like 120 degrees. That's not possible for it to be south of you, but directly overhead of someone who is on the tropics, for example. It's not possible. It can't be south of you and above the tropics at the same time. That just is not compatible with any flat map that has ever been produced.
So I don't agree. We were talking about this before. Yeah, I don't agree. So I'm posting this real quick. This is actually just Walter Bislin's thing. It's just a screenshot. I grabbed it quick. But when you have that hemispherical region of sky, which is essentially what a planetarium is, like I said, you can move this thing around this map. Now, I'm not claiming this is the right map or anything. I'm just saying, you can, and this is using the stellarium data. Now, I understand this brings in the question of like, okay, what is the sky? What is it made of? How does it work dynamically? Because you have kinematics and dynamics. So this all works kinematically mapped to a flat plane. But I do understand that when you bring in the dynamics,
Geo,
it gets complicated.
It does not work kinematically.
No. But can I ask my question now, Geo?
You guys, wait. It does work.
It does work. It was my turn. I've been waiting for quite a long time.
Sorry, Stefan. Go ahead.
Because this ties into what my question is going to be. When you show this last picture, you have that dome above the observer. Is that the distance that observer can see?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If we're going to get into the discussion of what is the sky, how far away are the objects, what is it made of, how does it work?
It's quite simple. You put on an image.
The planetarium data is what we see, like a planetarium. Like if you move to different latitude and longitudes, you're going to get a 180-degree hemispherical planetarium-like view of the sky. Which is why you can build a planetarium. You can walk. You can have a planetarium in, let's say, Arizona, and you can walk inside the planetarium. You set it for your latitude, longitude for where you actually are in Arizona, and then you walk outside. You look at the sky. You walk back inside the planetarium. You look at the planetarium ceiling. Then you walk back outside. Look at the sky, and they're going to be the same. So I'm just saying you can match, like the sky can all be replicated on a planetarium. So whatever the sky is or what it's made of, it maps over as a mutual
Geo, a sky cannot be replicated in a planetarium.
No. So
what are you talking about?
That dome over that observer could be of any size then.
Okay, can I just respond to that real quick, Gio? Like, are you guys saying that doesn't work, even though that's literally just a projection? It's an azimuthal equidistant projection of the spherical coordinate system.
So it's equivalent by definition. It's literally equivalent.
No, my question was that the dome over the observer, if that has like a specific range that you can see.
A specific range you can see. I mean, it's observer-centric positions, just like it is in Stellarium. It's the same exact coordinate system that you're referring to. It's just a different projection. You can put like whatever projection you want, orthographic, transverse, hammer, elliptical projection, like whatever. There's hundreds of projections. Doesn't matter. Depends on what you're using
No, because
it for.
the thing is, at winter solstice, the distance from me to was it Capricorn in the south is almost 6,000 miles away, and I can still see the sun in the middle of the day when the sun is supposed to be as far away from me as it can be.
I don't know what you're saying. What are you referring to? Capricorn? The constellation?
Now the tropic of, is it tropic of Capricorn in the south, or is it Cancer? I can't remember.
Capricorn.
Capricorn.
Yes, yeah. The max distance from my position, or I could get even further north. I can move a bit further north and get close to the Arctic Circle. Just south of the Arctic Circle, at winter solstice, I can still see the sun, and at that time, the distance from me to the Tropic of Capricorn is close to 6,000 miles.
Wait. So you can see the sun, and you're how far away from Tropic of Capricorn?
Close to about 5,900 miles.
5,900 miles. Okay. So, I mean, even based on like your paradigm, wouldn't you not be able to see it?
On my model, I should see it. Yes.
You should see it.
Yep.
Yes.